Guys, you have 5 minutes. You can bet who is going to win game number 1 between Winchester and the Viper. So let's jump into it right away and welcome everyone to the Viper versus Winchester. We have yellow and purple. Once again, I think we're going to be using team colors over here. We're going to keep blue on Winchester and red on the Viper, so that we, you know, retain a somewhat similar color scheme, and it's going to be a little bit easier for us to see. Anyway, but let's fix this real quick. This is grand final, and we have a best of 9 actually. All right, and yeah, let's make this a little bit more readable. Easy. There we go. So for game number 1, then we have Mongols for Winchester, and the Vipers got Vikings. I'm gonna take a look at the matchup over here once again to see what it's looking like. So Mongols with a better than 50% win rate overall. Against Vikings specifically, they have a win rate of 100%. So Winchester's pick over here is looking pretty good for him. You know, the Viper with Vikings is going to have a tough matchup over here. Viper going with his IRL Civ. Yeah, exactly. Well, anyway, he's gotta be careful. He's taking the Rhino right now. Okay, good job. Let's take a look at the civilizations over here for each player, and then we're gonna be taking a look at the map generation in a moment. But starting with Winchester first, we are going to get with Mongols. 40% faster working hunters. Although he's not going for limbs at all. He's just trying to push the huntables. You can see the ostrich over here. He's taking the Rhino as well, so he's just gonna try to play for his own resources. Besides that, we also get for Mongols 25% faster attacking cavalry archer units, 30% extra HP. Oh, and let's go! Tipping $5 over here. Thank you so much. Very much appreciated for the support. Thanks a lot, and I hope you're enjoying the content. Well, let's see. Viper knows about the villager trying to take the Rhino's gonna try to block it. The Winchester will need to go for a house or something over here, otherwise he might end up losing the villager. Not quite. Not quite. He gets the villager under the TC, and Viper cannot do anything over there, so it's starting to look pretty good for Winchester. First test, and he's passed it. The only thing Viper's been able to get away with, though, is taking 2 goats from Winchester and moving them over to the left-hand side. So yeah, dude, I was not even able to keep on talking about the civilizations. For Mongols, so let's just rush through it. They do get extra HP on light cavalry, hussars, step lancer line units, and for the team bonus 2 extra line of sight on scouts, right? Which is pretty good. Viper on the other hand, free wheelbarrow, free handcart, and then he's got 20% extra HP. An infantry unit starting in the field age, and that's about it. The rest of the bonuses are for water maps. So yeah. Forgot to add my name. Oh, Sneaky, it was you. Great casting, man. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed. I am much more satisfied with our performance today together compared to last time around. Last time around was unfortunately a little rough because of the system of the observer system. I got the feed so much later compared to MAM, and then you take into account the latency from my end over to MAM again, so my reactions were late to begin with, and then there's latency on top of that, right? So it came off his stream like super late, and it was kind of awkward, but now it was much better. Or at least, that's how I felt. Well guys, we know the civs, right? We have talked about them already. Let's go and take a look at the map generation, starting with Mr. Winchester. What do we get over here for the bull player? He's going to have, first off, the main gold on the back. It's got secondary gold down south, the other secondary golds on the right hand side. Meanwhile, the stone on the other hand has got the main stone on the left hand side and the secondary stone down south towards the right hand side. He should be able to fairly easily wall himself up, just going for some walls from here to here and connecting the wool lines over here would potentially allow him to secure 2 wool lines, right, over here. If he does not go for this wall, it's still going to be alright, I think. Can potentially just go for something like this, and he's still going to be able to secure this wool line on the back regardless. So it's pretty good. Taking a look at the map generation from the Viper, though. What do we get for the red player? Well, he's got the main gold on the left-hand side. It's got secondary gold on the left-hand side very far away as well, and then the secondary gold on the right-hand side very far too. While the stone, on the other hand, we have the main one down south and the secondary one on the left-hand side. As for the wall out, it's going to be a little bit trickier for him, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem like he'll be able to easily secure any wool lines unless he goes for something like this. And then that is assuming that he knows about the wool lines even. He doesn't, so he's probably just not going to be going for this at all, and we are probably going to see something like this instead, maybe from here to the berries, right? And something like this, which is very awkward and very unfortunate for the Vipers. So Winchester's civilization matchup over here looking strong. And map generation looking, in my opinion, so much better compared to Vipers. There we go. Archer range is coming up already, and Viper is only now gonna be in the village. So what is the plan? He's going up on 20 vills. He's made the switch over to gold, so we're gonna see Archer range coming up as well. Yes. Is small trees mod on? I have medium trees. I do not like small trees because I personally feel like they take too much away from the game aesthetics. I like the way the game looks with large trees, but it's very hard to play and to cast with, you know, when you have to take a look at the wood lines. So I have a medium trees, which is not quite as small trees. I can show you actually right away. There you go. So these are the big trees. You can see over here how they change. Let's see. Gotta keep a quick pub quiz for some friends. Back later. Enjoy the show. By the way, great casting earlier. Thank you, Baila. And enjoy as well. There were a few technological problems at this tourney. Let's hope the finale goes smoothly. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be going well. I think probably the roughest was yesterday, and I think today is going to be fine. There you go. Blacksmith's coming out for the Viper, so he can get fletching. He's got so far only one archer and one skirmisher. You know, Winchester on the other hand's got already 2 archers, gonna keep on going for more. It's about the same for both. Winchester might have had a small head start, like a wee head start into military production, which is going to help alleviate the defender advantage, you know, against Viper, but let's see if he can do any damage. There's only one archer over here for him to work with. He does have fletching though, but, you know, it takes a bunch of hits to take a single villager down, so he's just going to walk away. There we go. Good job. Yeah, he's going back right now. Cannot do too much damage. He was only able to get 1 spearman, so that's first blood already in favor of Winchester. But it's unlikely he'll be able to do too much over here, so we'll see. Alright, seems like Vinch will get pushed away. It's still fine. Game sound off. Yeah, you are correct, my bad. It should be fixed now. Sorry about that. There you go. It's because I was having some issues with my computer and I did not want you to keep on hearing like error sounds. Okay, yeah, this is pretty good though. There we go. Winchester keeps on roaming around. He's gonna get the hill right now. There's 3 archers for each player, but then the Viper is bringing a few extra units over here with the skirmishers. That's gonna be so much deadlier, so Winchester's bailing. Moving over to the left-hand side, so he can regroup with the rest of his army, but he might end up losing the archers over here. That's 1 down, 2 down already. Overall KD looking much better for the Viper. Yeah. But no eco damage done so far. Just realized the soothing sound of wood being chopped was missing. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, that's pretty good. Winchester should be able to hold on over here just fine, and because he's going for the walls on the right hand side, he's getting this up just in time. I think he's gonna be fine. This one is very low HP, but he's going for a house behind it. Yeah, he should be okay for the time being. If he can send another villager over here to try and get this one up or try to force, you know, the house up, that's going to be so much better. I was kind of hoping he was going to get the walls up here instead. That's still fine. Viper denying the house, got him a bill worth of idle TC. Oh yeah, good catch. Winchester idle TC time's going up a little bit. The Viper's not ideal, but still looking a little bit better. So let's see, Scout's coming out. He's going right up against the Skirmishers. Should be able to take on these just fine, I think. He's going for it. Yeah, and he's targeting the archers first as well, you know. Okay, he's going after the Skirmishers right now. This is a little bit sloppy. He ends up losing one archer over here. He didn't need to, but at the very least, he cleans up the Skirmishers. Now, the thing is, Viper's got a second wave of units coming over here. And Winchester, already one villager down. Viper still has some good archers over here, so he can take more villagers down for sure. I think it's going to take about 4 hits to... Yeah, if he focus fires a villager for him to take one down, but... He was already able to do some damage, and he's going to be the first one to go up to the Castle H as well. Good job. Perfect. Very, very nice cleanup over here for Winchester. And the Viper's still open on the right-hand side, so he could potentially do some damage, but for the time being, the Viper's looking pretty good. Might be able to get another villager down over here. Winchester's been struggling to defend against this. And now he's coming forward. The scouts, the archers. There we go. Yeah, that's a villager going down for the Viper for sure. No way! He got the quick wall though. What a legend. Well played. I mean, he's still going to end up losing the villager though. No, will he? He won't. Wow, the quick wall's over here from the Viper though. But the villager's going down in the end. He's not losing the villager. Oh my god, come on. What is this, the Viper? Micro showdown? He was able to save the villager. That is just remarkable, honestly. Meanwhile, all the units over here from the Viper finally got cleaned up. Winchester's going up to the Castle H himself, but, you know, Viper is going to be there a little bit sooner now. How much sooner? Fast enough to still retain a 1 villager lead. By the time Winchester gets to the Castle H, the Viper is going to be already on 41 villagers. So, yeah. EQKD over here in favor of the Viper, still going to come in quite clutch in the next few minutes. Second TC coming in for the Viper right away. And this is very interesting. We saw in the previous set Winchester playing Britons as if they were Vikings. Now we're gonna see the Viper playing Vikings as if they were Britons. It's going for the University still though, so it's gonna be thinking of going for Ballistics. It's got Crossbowman, Botkin Arrow. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Viper went for an extra TC. He knows that Winchester is very well prepared to... He knows that Winchester is very well prepared to fight against, or to hold on against aggressive players, aggressive playstyles from what we saw yesterday. So instead he's gonna decide to go for the eco approach instead. Going up to the Castle H will allow him to get a head start in villager production, you know, by getting the extra TCs up sooner. And Winchester, it seems like he's gonna be kind of forced right now to go for 1 TC full push. Now, the interesting thing though is that Mongols are going to be so much better in the later stages of the game compared to Vikings. But in the Castle H, it's going to be significantly harder for them to hold on. And especially with the stronger economy from the Viper from getting free wheelbarrow and free handcart, Vikings are probably also going to be the first one to get to the Imperial Age. And early Imp is going to be a crucial stage for the Viper, of course. If Winchester can survive, first off, we need to get there, right? But if Winchester can survive over there, then I think maybe his chances are going to start increasing the longer the game goes, assuming that he does end up going for extra TCs, right? And does try to play for the late game. But it's going to be very hard, man. The Viper can be deadly. Earlier access to Warbalisters, Bracer chemistry can be so hard to hold on against when it's on Viper's hand. It's going back for the time being. Good defense for Winchester. Ballistics is here now for the Viper. And Winchester does not have a university right now. So yeah, he cannot do too much. He cannot go for Ballistics himself. Defense Siege Workshop over here for the Viper. I like the position as well because he's not fully committed to defense. He's not fully committed to offense as well. Like, he's not going for the Siege Workshop around here, right? Let's see. Good job. Scorpion coming out from the Viper. Yeah, this is okay. You know, you go for 2 Scorpions for the cost of 1 Manuel or so. It's going to be much harder to micro around the Scorpions, of course, to take them down quite as you would be able to do against Mangonels. But yeah, Winchester's worker efficiency has been lower. Well, some of that comes from the upgrades. Viper's got Heavy Plow right now and Boso, while Winchester does not. And you know, Heavy Plow specifically is going to have your villagers work a little bit longer before dropping food. And not having Wheelbarrow, not having Handcart means that Winchester's economy just cannot keep up. If we take a look at Gather economy, it's, wow, an hour and 40 minutes stronger for the Viper so far. That is remarkable. That is a very nice lead. And very soon it's going to be 2 more hours. Amazing stuff. What do we get over here then? Yeah, of course, these villagers, you know, they're gonna be dropping. They're gonna be dropping so much food at a time. Okay, there's an opening over here. Let's see if Winchester can do damage. Man, he cannot take a single villager down, and the Mangonel over here on the left hand side cannot take the Mangonel from the Viper, so he gets pushed away. Yeah, rail player's looking pretty dominant. There we go. Yeah, the Mangonel's going down, and Winchester, I don't think he was able to take a single unit down with it. Now he's bringing another one forward. Let's go over to the standard page over here as well, again. Yeah, and the second TC is finally out for Winchester. Now notice how the other TC time is about the same for both players, but the fact that Viper is on 3 TC speaks so much better for him as well. No wonder his villager count is 21 higher right now, make that 24 higher actually. And yeah, Winchester is going to end up losing the Mangonel over here. Viper still has the Mangonels up himself, loses 1, but he still has 1, and the Scorpion coming forward, and now with these units going down, Winchester's military count is going to be non-existent. He's got 5 out of 6 units over here. And Viper's the one putting pressure right now. When he is going for extra TCs faster, and he was going for the eco approach earlier, this is a luxury for the Viper. You shouldn't be able to go for economy and push like this, but he's been able to get away with it. Like even with Vikings. Usually if you go for full aggression on Vikings, you go on 1 TC because of how good your economy is. Anyway. It has just been incredible performance for the Viper so far. Let's take a look at this. Mangonel shot. And that's, wow, another one going down. Winchester cannot catch a break with the siege trades over here. Yeah, and it seems like Viper might be able to get this TC down as well. Certainly looking on the back foot over here, the bull player. Doesn't seem like he's gonna be able to keep continuing. Are you kidding me? A castle from the Viper? What? A 4 castle on the hill to completely push Winchester away. Oh god, this is so good from the Viper. 105 castle, certainly looks like it. Was able to get some crosses on the back as well and get a villager down, but I think this is going to be the biggest problem for Winchester right now. You know, that castle is going to be ranging the TC, so even if the Viper ends up losing the Mangonel, the TC is going down no matter what. That is a get out of my game castle, and it's certainly feeling like it's going to be like that, you know. If this is not GG, you know, Winchester did not call it when he lost all the army. Okay, there we go. He's calling it right now with the castle. If he did not call the GG over here, it was going to be GG probably when the Viper went up to the Imperial Age, because take a look at Viper's economy. This is remarkable performance from the Snake. Well played. Let's go and take a look at the achievements then. Because for military over here, we get a very nice KD for the Viper. Better than 4 to 3, just barely. We have also an army high of 28 to 21% for the Viper. Sorry, tried to read the chat and the stats at the same time. 28 and 21 maximum army count for the Viper and Winchester respectively. And for economy, we have also extra wood, food, gold, and stone for the Viper, resulted in a much larger amount of resources collected by about 6,400 or close to it extra resources, with a much faster castle each time. He was going to be the first one to go up to the Imperial Age as well, and he just played this one masterfully, so well played. Let's go back then. And let's see what civilizations we have left. So, with let's see, what do we get over here? We had Mongols, right? With Mongols out of the question. Where are Mongols? Where are Mongols? I'm blind, guys. Where are Mongols? Okay, right here. Mongols out of the question and Vikings out of the question over here. That's going to leave Winchester still a, you know, good amount of strong civilizations. He's got Britain still, Aztecs, Incas, and Indians with more than 50% win rate, as well as Ethiopians, right? And then the Viper, on the other hand, the Viper, he's got all four still. All top four civilizations: Chinese, Lithuanians, Tatars, and Vietnamese. So, let's see. Burgundians, they got played like 3 times only, I think, and it so happens to be that one of those times was against Indians, and they have a 0% win rate against those. So on paper, it should be a little bit better for the Indian player, but we'll see. Once again, you know, we had before the same situation going with Winchester getting a civilization with a 100% win track record against Viper civilization, and it still went in favor of the Viper. So let's switch the colors once again. We're gonna have Winchester playing in blue on the right hand side then, and we have the Viper playing on the left hand side with yellow. With Indians and Burgundians respectively. Taking a look at Indians for Winchester first, that means he's gonna be getting 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30%. Actually 10, 15, 20, and 25% cheaper villages, of course. In the Dark Feudal Castle and Imperial Ages. Where did I want to go with the 30% over there to a 5th age? An unknown of 5th age. Well, anyway. What else do we get over here? For Indians, it's gonna be getting also 1 and 2 extra pierce armor on stable units in the castle and Imperial Legion. For the team bonus, we get for Indians also 4 bonus damage from camera-ready units against buildings. For the Viper, on the other hand, with Burgundians, he gets access to eco upgrades 1 inch earlier, which is pretty strong. He's gonna have those for a 50% food discount as well, which is pretty good. Besides that, we also get for Burgundians access to the Cavalier upgrade in the Castle Age and a 50% discount on stable upgrades. Besides that, we also have for Burgundians 25% higher attack on Gunpowder units, and for the team bonus, relics generate food on top of gold. Burgundians, they must be going Cavaliers, so camels? Well, yeah, with Indians, they're probably going to be going for camels regardless, right? What I'm very curious about is what we're going to see early on, because you can certainly go for scouts for both civilizations, but that's going to be the predictable thing to do. So we'll see what we get. Taking a look at Winchester's map generation first then, we're going to have the main goal on the back. It's got the secondary goal on the right hand side, and then the other secondary goal on the left hand side. While the main stone is on the left hand side and the secondary stone is on the right hand side, he should be able to secure himself fairly easily by going for walls like this. Yeah, it's not so simple. It's not that simple, absolutely. And he should be able to secure himself like this, right? But he does not secure any wood lines. So regardless, he will be able to secure the gold and the berries over here, which is pretty good. And if we go and take a look at the map generation from the Viper, on the other hand, now he's very open up north, I think. Maybe not quite as much. The thing is, the small pond over here is going to make it a little bit tricky for him to get the walls going, but I think he should still be able to get away with going for something like from here to here to here maybe, and if he can just go for the wall towards the berry so that he can secure this, and from here to the edge of the map, it's not too expensive, and he will be able to secure this wall line. He will be able to secure this wall line as well as the secondary gold he's got in the back, the main gold he's got on the main stone he's got on the back over here. And then the main goal will be kind of exposed. The secondary goal would still be kind of exposed, but that still means he's going to be collecting from these ones on the back. These ones on the back, which is going to suffice for him to get going until he gets to the Castle Age. And then, you know, he can start thinking about, like, whatever, going for a TC around here or whatever he needs to protect the rest of his economy, right? But I think I'm liking Viper's map generation a little bit better. Just barely. Good job. Thanks so much, chat, for making the gambling fun. The gambling, we're not gambling here. No gambling. This is prediction contest. Okay, we don't yeah. We don't condone gambling around here. Of course. Winchester's getting some information on Viper's base. Viper, on the other hand, he knows a little bit about Winchester. He knows about the barracks already, so he's probably going to be expecting the militias. What is this? Yeah, that's another Prush, another pre-militia, pre-mill rush, sorry. This is coming forward. Yeah, the Viper spots the barracks at that time in the game, and what does he do? He goes for the quick walls right away. Good job. There we go, Fuel H is here. Or he's on the way for the Viper. Winchester's gonna go up on a little bit higher economy, on a little bit higher villager count. It seems quite clear to me he's gonna be going for archers afterwards, which is really interesting. So what are we going to see over here? Archers into crossbows, into cavalry archers for Indians? I mean, they can go for it. They get all the upgrades for archers and for cavalry archers up until the Castle Age. And cavalry archers specifically scale pretty well in the Imperial Age as they get all the upgrades for those as well. But let's take a look at this. The Viper's gonna try to get the quick walls up. Okay, let's see if Winchester's paying attention. Let's see if Winchester's paying attention. Oh, and he's not! So the Viper's getting the walls up. And trapping the militias. And just masterpiecing his way into the series. Wow! Good job. Viper's micro this series has been just on point. You gotta give credit as well to the perfect timing too, because he just got a fraction of a hammer down on one palisade foundation, and then he just went for the other one immediately. If he tried to wait, of course, before for one palisade to be up before going for the other one, Winchester was surely gonna be able to walk away from there. Just Viper things, yeah. Village is coming up for Winchester, still about 10 seconds away from it, and it seems like scout over here from Viper is most likely going to go down. If they do commit to the engagement, you know, Winchester's got the militia. Yeah, that's pretty good. Viper might still be able to get the scout down from Winchester though. We have seen him do that in the past, so let's see. Just give a man his cap and get over with it. Well, I'm not really sure. Winchester has had time to get quite as much preparation against the Viper as he has against Leary, but no, I wouldn't be calling the series just yet. Right now, villager count is a little bit higher for Winchester. Viper's got a little bit more idle TC time, for instance. You know, it's not over. I'm surprised about the huge amount of time it's taking for Winchester to come forward though. Yeah, he's going for a stable, so he made the switch to gold, and now he's decided to go for scouts instead. He's pulled the villagers away from gold. This flip-flopping is going to delay the push so much that I'm honestly not really sure if he's gonna be able to get away with it. Viper, on the other hand, has been able to defend himself just fine over here with the archer coming out, and the militias are going down for sure. And yeah, he's going for heavy plow already. His economy is just gonna be his economy is just going to be out of this world in the Fuel Age already. He's getting Castle Age upgrades. Alright. Yeah, Viper has stabilized. He's taking huntables out in the open. He's got a spearman over there to protect the villagers. I'm not really sure if he knows about the stable from Winchester though, does he? He knows? Yeah, wow. That's done a really good job. With a very low HP scout over here, he was still able to get enough intel to react on time, so now he's got spearmen already in place around his base. So by the time these units come in from Winchester, Viper should be able to defend himself just fine. And where are the rest of the units, by the way? There we go, Winchester's bringing these forward. There's also the fact, of course, the Viper's got, you know, all the resources walled up. And he's gonna be thinking about going for the walls to the edge of the map right now as well. Which is what I originally wanted to see, but it's not possible to go for every time at the very beginning, from the get-go anyway. But you can aim towards a full wall out eventually. That's exactly what the Viper's going for. Good job. There we go. Yes, he's getting the villager down, so that's good damage. I was not expecting the Viper to take a single loss to the scouts, given that he already was aware of them coming forward and he had the spearman around, right? But this might be a villager going down. Let's see. Good job. The Spearman's going down as well, but if he's not reacting on time, then he's not going to be able to get the surround going against the villagers. Going right after the villager, and the Viper's going to try to get the quick wall out, but it's not going to be able to. So now, Winchester still gets pushed away because of extra Spearman over here. That was really strong. Unfortunately, he was not fast enough to take the villager down over there, but notice Viper's idle TC time, plus the fact that he's getting wheelbarrow right now, that's going to leave Winchester on a very nasty villager lead, very close to 5 extra villagers, 4 extra villagers for the time being. How good is this? There we go. 5 extra villagers for Winchester currently. Make that 6. Okay, it seems like Upcharge bugged out over there for a moment. But yeah, anyway. Yeah. Viper is gonna be able to hold on over here just fine. I think his economy upgrades are going to prevent him from falling behind too much against Winchester. So if we take a look at gather economy over here so far, it's been better for Winchester, yes. And it's actually been by quite the margin. It's almost half an hour of extra gathering time over here for Winchester, which is more than I was expecting, but that's probably going to start decreasing a little bit more now that Viper's got wheelbarrow. Although, just as I say that, Winchester goes for wheelbarrow himself, so yeah, maybe it's just going to stay much better for Winch, but let's see. That's a lot of scouts coming here, man. There are 2 spearmen over here still left for the Viper. Let's see if Winchester will be able to take these down right away. He's trying to go for those, but he's taking a lot of damage over here. He might be able to get all the spearmen down, but he's taking a lot of damage over here, but he still has a good amount of scouts. That micro over there was really good for Winchester. In the end, ends up losing 3 scouts, I think, but he takes all the defenses down from the Viper. So he can keep on roaming around. The Viper's trying to get a quick wall stop over here. Is this open? It's not open. And it's just trying to destroy this, but it's not going to be able to. And the quick wall's coming up over here for the Viper. I'm not going to be cheap, but I'm going to prevent him from taking further losses. So it's still alright. Interestingly enough, though, Winchester is in a pretty good spot in terms of economy, and he's going to be going up to the Castle Edge very, very shortly. Well, the Viper, on the other hand, is going to be going up to the Castle Edge later, but it's probably going to be close to a minute of a head start for Winchester to get there. Which means access to light cavalry, which can be so good for sniping villages, right? It's going to be so much stronger compared to just going for camels. For the money anyway, it's going to be so much more cost effective. And yeah, he can also go for camels, of course, if he's expecting the Viper to go for, you know, Cavalier eventually, but Viper's done a really good job balancing his economy, and it seems like both players are going to be going up at about the same time. Viper will not be behind by 1 minute anymore. It's probably just going to be 20 seconds. Winchester back home completely stabilized. Or rather, he was not really under pressure at any time, but he's completely unscratched. What I would love for Winchester to do, and by the way, Viper's getting a little bit too much. Yeah, it's taking a little bit too much to go up to the Castle Edge, so in the end it's going to be, let's see, a lead of 34 seconds, I think. So yeah, taking a look at the map for Winchester, I definitely want to see him go for the walls. Probably try to wall to the edge of the map, given that he's under no pressure whatsoever. And then he's going to be able to secure both these woolens, right? And that's going to be so good. Plus both golds and the stone on the back. There you are. Scale bar and armor is coming in for Winch right now. Yeah, so it's going to be full cavalry for him. Well, I mean, he's got some scouts left, but he's going also for archers right now. So it seems like it's going to be crossbows for him. Once again, crossbows for Indians are going to be just fine. They get all the upgrades. It's only in the Imperial Age that they stop scaling because of the lack of the Arbalester upgrade. Otherwise, they are still pretty strong. And because he already has cavalry out, going for crossbows over here is going to be so good. You know, cavalry and archers. A team game composition for a 1v1 over here is going to be nothing but great for Winchester. So he's up and he's going for crossman upgrade, blocking arrow right away, as well as husbandry, right? Extra mobility for the scouts. And the second DC is coming up right away. It seems Winchester is gonna try to play the same game he went for yesterday. Just try to go for economy over here, try to be a little bit more defensive and force the Viper to come out and try to do damage. But that's not necessarily going to work out this time around. The Viper's going for the second TC right away, and he's not too far behind compared to Winchester for uptime. And he's only 2 villages behind. So I think whatever lead Winchester is going to be getting is not going to be quite as massive as it could have been if the Viper had stuck to 1 TC anyway. But yeah, adaptation for the Viper over here, certainly looking a lot better. I think he was probably expecting this type of gameplay from Winchester after watching the series yesterday, right? So yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Very, very well played from the Viper. He's got the second TC already up, okay. He's going for Scorpions right now, defensive siege workshop, alright. Winchester on the other hand, let me see if he's got the university on the way to see if he's going to prioritize aggression or not. He doesn't have a university coming up, and he's making a switch to cavalry archers. This is one of the options that I was considering at the very beginning of the game when we were talking about what they could potentially go for. However, for cavalry archers, it's going to take a little bit longer to mass up, especially if he's got a small amount of archer ranges, and right now he's got only 2. So I think this is something that Winchester is gonna be going for, but not really fully prioritized. So he's got a stronger army once he gets to the Imperial Age, but it's not necessarily going to be a full Castle Age push. While the Viper on the other hand, well... And it's also going to be great for defense, right, if the Viper is to go aggressive, but... The Viper on the other hand seems like he's just gonna be playing for defense himself as well, so it's just going to be both players going for the same. Viper's getting the 3rd TC up a little bit sooner though compared to Winchester. And Vinch's got the resource to go for the 3rd TC. Let's see if he's going to go for it. Alright. Spearman doing really good damage over there, but still the Scorpion goes down. And Winchester still ends up getting pushed away. Yeah, without ballistics it's so much harder for him to get some good damage down over here. Let's get the hail though. Yeah, but Viper's macro has been on point this series. Alright, extra TC's coming out for Winchester. There we go, he's going for the 3rd one, so it's gonna be about the same for both. Interestingly enough, the Viper has been able to get a heavy villager count, but I think that's probably because of handguard, and now Winchester should be able to catch up as Viper is going for handguard himself. Heavy plows coming in for Winchester, so he's gonna catch up in terms of eco upgrades. Unless the Viper goes for crop rotation or 2 mansaw, I think Winchester should be fine over here. So Vinch thought it was simple and went for counts, but since it's not that simple, it kinda, but he made the switch to cavalry archers, right? He did not go for too many camels, yeah. Let's see. Economy looking pretty strong for Winchester. It's coming in with the cavalry archers, so it's gonna try to amp the pressure up. Viper doesn't really have a whole lot of military units, so he's going to struggle to defend for sure. If Winchester can, you know, if he can bring the archers together, the cavalry archers over here, I don't think there's a chance for Winchester to hold on with archers alone. So let's take a look. He's got the Scorpion over here. It's good pressure from Vinch. He's pushing the Viper away from so many resources for sure. But the Viper, as we already established before, he's got the wool lanes over here safe to collect from on the back. And he still has this goal, but he's going to get pushed away from it for sure very soon. Right? The cavalry archers are coming here, so he cannot take that goal anymore. And yeah, Winchester's pressure over here is great. But not only that, Winchester's got almost enough resources to go up to the Imperial Age compared to Viper. Viper's economy is complete garbage right now. Worker efficiency for the Viper last minute has gone under 50%. Winchester bringing all the units forward. He's been slowly but surely massing on the back. Has paid out so good. Has paid out so well. Now when he gets to the Imperial Age, he's going to get access to heavy cavalry archers, sorry. He's going to be getting access to bracer, chemistry, whatnot, you know. Viper's getting a castle up over here, but doesn't matter. Once Winchester gets up, if he goes for chemistry, which he's gonna need to go for invariably because of his range units, we can probably see bombard counts coming out. So this is amazing, guys. This is amazing. This situation right now from Winchester, I'm very happy about, because it shows that this is not necessarily going to be a one-sided series, right? Sure, Indians get a 100% win rate against Burgundians so far in the tournament, but there was only one matchup, so it's not like we had a whole lot of sample data, right, to try and and call a civilization win over here for anyone. So anyway, Vinch really showing the little fast aim strats. Yeah. Stop doing the T90 voice? What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about, but yeah. 40C coming in for the Viper. There we go. For a Siege Workshop as well. This is so good for the Bombard Cannons. There we are. Yeah, there we go. Pretty good position. Now on the hill is gonna be taking the Scorpions down. No problem. The Viper cannot do much of anything. Now the question is, will he call the GG after Vinch gets to Imp? Because he knows about the Siege Workshop, right? Yeah, he knows about the Siege Workshop. Once we get Chemistry, Bracer, Scary Archers are gonna be able to take an even easier trade against these Crossels. Let's see though if Winchester's paying attention. He is. He does not have Ballistics though. That might be an issue because Viper already has it. Another castle coming in for the Viper over here. Yeah, and Mangonel's out. Okay, this could be strong. Oh, but Winchester! He missed the chance! He could have taken the foundation down right away with the Mangonel. That's so unfortunate. And he also saw the villagers trying to line up to build the castle over there, but he was probably paying attention over here instead. Okay. Siege Workshop's coming in once again for Winchester. They're still going to be forward though, for sure. So you can keep on, you know, thinking of going for Bombard Cannons, just not going to be quite as readily available. I think the Viper ended up taking probably a few losses over here. Trying to get the castle up to the Mangonel maybe, but it's fine. Okay, there we go. Bombard Cannons coming out. We see Heavy Camel Rider upgrade coming in. The Viper doesn't have as much food himself, so he's still very far away from the Imperial Age. He's just gonna be relying on defense. How much so? Well, he's gotten the guard tower upgrade, so that's how badly he wants to defend himself right now. He's got 2 towers up down south, plus the castles around. It's certainly going to take some time for Winchester to push these defenses down, especially as the Viper is going for Custilier right now. But let's see. Yeah, I think with a meat shield, with a camel meat shield, plus cavalry archers on the back, there's very little the Viper is going to be able to do. I think Winchester's position over here is still pretty good. As a matter of fact, Winchester could potentially even just go for light cavalry, honestly. All he's got to do is absorb the charge attack from the Custilier, and then the cavalry archers are going to be doing the damage from behind. There we go, Bombard Cannon's already out. It's got 2 Siege Workshops over here. Yeah, and some light cavalry roaming around, trying to keep on raiding the Viper, trying to keep momentum in. Right now, he's not been able to do too much damage, but the Viper's still so far from the Imperial Age. Where? Okay, there we go. I was going to ask where the Bombard Cannon was. So, we know Burgundians, they shine really in the Castle Age. Up until there, they have a very strong economy because they can go for eco upgrades for 1 H higher, right? And then they also get access to Cavalier, which is pretty good. But once we transition to the Imperial Age, it's not quite as strong anymore. Once your opponent catches up, you know, in eco upgrades, you're gonna be kind of rough. Because your units are not going to be quite as upgradable. Like the Cavalier are not going to be anywhere near strong, right? For Burgundians. Without bloodlines and whatnot. But Winchester, on the other hand, he's not really going to have the strongest army himself either, because of cavalry not getting plate barred in armor anymore. But at the very least, the cavalry archers are still going to be fully upgraded. So yeah, this can still be pretty good. Let's see. Meat shield coming in over here for Winchester. Good job. Here comes the Viper, but he cannot do much of anything. And Winchester keeps on going right up against the castle. Good job. The 4th Bombard Cannon's coming in over here. Viper, if he wants to keep the castle up, it's going to be very pricey, of course. If he ends up running out of stone over here, which it's going to take a hot minute, right? But if he doesn't end up running out of stone, he's going to have to start spending the gold he's collected, which means he's going to be stuck in the castle age further. Very, very nice raid though from the Viper, and this is why I wanted to see Winchester when he was under no pressure to go for the wall, so that he was not going to have to worry about anything in the future. But yeah, the reaction is good. At the very least, this garrison over here is as opposed to losing 20 villagers before realizing. Okay, there we go. Castle's still under a lot of damage, and the Viper is now on his way to the Imperial Age. Here he comes. He's going right up against those, but the Custili are taking the bombard cannons. 1, 2, 3 down out of 4, but the Custili are going down as well. It has not been a particularly cost-effective trade for Winchester, but the Viper ended up losing a lot over here. I'm actually not really sure who ended up losing more resources. It might have been the Viper, actually. So I think Winchester's just fine. Besides, he's got double siege workshops over here. He can keep on going for more bombard cannons, and with the castle coming up over here, he's also going to have the head start in trophy ship production too. So yeah, it's pretty good. Like cavalry coming up from Winchester to take care of these units, it's gonna be fine. It seems to me like Viper's gonna have to, you know, flip the switch once he gets to the Imperial Age, because he's on a very nice villager count right now. He's got a lot of farmers, so if he ends up collecting like 2,000, 3,000 food, and he goes up to like 150 villagers or so, he might be thinking of flipping the switch. This is something we have talked about extensively in the past in Burgundians. They do not need to play necessarily for Flemish Revolution, you know? But it's something you can get to organically, just playing standard. Just like the Viper's doing right now. If he does go for it though, Winchester right now does not have enough units to defend himself. But remember that Indians get fantastic hand cannoneer as well, and because he's got chemistry already, plus the archer ranges up, could potentially go for hand cannoneer. It's just not going to be too fast production from 2 archer ranges only. There we go. Yeah, and it seems like Viper's going to end up losing the castle over here for sure. He's getting halberdiers, going for plate mail armor right now. Bracer and chemistry as well, so he's trying to catch up to Winchester in upgrades, but Winchester's still looking stronger. He's got more villagers right now compared to Viper. He's got an extra TC coming up north over here, which is going to protect a little bit of, you know, the way towards his base, so it's going to make it a little harder for the Viper, as he's going to have to go around the castles. But yeah. There we go, and how about the upgrades here? Still though, if this castle crumbles for the Viper, he won't really have a whole lot of defense left. The Halberdier, they are completely out of position. That's a lot of villages going down right now from the Viper, and Winchester's push over here is relentless. Those Halberdier going down by the minute. Yeah, where are the Halberdier? We have only a few Halberdier left on the left-hand side, and he's trying to go for more. How many barracks do we have for the Viper? I think he won't be able to keep the castle from crumbling, right? He's got 7 barracks, but the castle's going down anyway. Wow. What a great performance from Winchester so far. Higher population compared to the Viper. He's going for another castle. No way. This one is being stepped on by 1 skirmisher from the Viper. So Winchester's going to have to relocate this one. Come on. Okay, he can go for it now. He should be able to go for it right now. The cavalry archers can defend against Halberdier just fine. Just got to be careful against skirmishers. But he's got bombard cannons to play with. So let's see. Castle. Okay, there we go. It's coming up. Yeah, and Viper is on a lot of pressure. Now the question is, will Winchester be able to get the castle up though? Because there's a lot of pressure over here from skirmishers he does not have an answer for. He's lost all the bombard cannons. He's lost the trebuchet right now, so he's kind of out of answers against the skirmishers. He's gonna need to bring some light cavalry maybe, but you know, with a halberdier over there, he needs something else. So what is the play over here? He's going to go for lone swords. It's gonna be going for 200 swordsmen, champions for sure. He's going for the lone swordsman upgrade right now. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty good. Against the units that the Viper's going for anyway, it's gonna be pretty good still. Do remember though that the Viper does have 25% higher damage on gunpowder units, and he's already predicting Winchester to go for infantry. Or does he see... Yeah, he saw already the barracks. So he's already expecting Winchester to be going for infantry, and he's going to make the switch to hand cannoneer right away. As good as they are for Indians, they are actually a lot better for Viper, because of the 25% you know, damage multiplier that they get. There we go. 200 swordsmen coming out for Winchester right now. Meanwhile, down south, Viper starting to push back. Very, very nice military count for the Viper, even though it's majorly trash units. It's still pretty good. Winchester's been struggling to defend himself against that. So, yeah, it's gonna have champions, right, eventually. Assuming that he gets the resources. Right now, he does not have enough to go for the champion upgrade. What else is he going to go for behind that? Because the hand cannoneer are going to shred champs if he just goes for militia line units alone. I guess it's just going to be more cavalry archers, right? He's going for more. Does he still have only 2 archer ranges? He does, yeah. Foundation over here got deleted, so Winchester gets some of the resources back. He can go for another castle elsewhere. And yeah. Overboom by Winchester? Well, it's going to be an issue only if he cannot keep on going for more military. So he's housed right now, right? He's pop cap. It's, yeah, it probably would be a good moment right now to consider, you know, getting rid of some villagers. Maybe he can send a bunch forward to try to get the castle up again and just sacrifice them, but he's going for the castle in the back instead, so yeah, not even that. Yeah, he doesn't have chainmail armor just yet. He needs to go for it. Good stuff. And there we go. We see now heavy cavalry archer coming in for Winchester, so these are going to be fully upgraded. I believe they already have Path and Tactics, don't they? Yeah. There we go. So we have Path and Tactics, we have Thumb Ring, I assume, already, right? Yes, we have Thumb Ring already. And yeah, he's got all the upgrades, so these are going to be fully upgraded. Now these are fully upgraded, that's pretty good. So we have champions on the way. Where are the champions though? He's made a switch away from champions. So he went for the champion upgrade, now he's going for Hazar. Okay, so he's got some champions over here. Alright. He's got 200 swordsmen on the way over there for whatever reason before. I'm not really sure what that was about. But yeah, I think Vinch could have just gone for skirms instead of champs. Yeah, he could have gone for skirms, for sure. But champs were going to allow him to do damage after getting the trash units down. Skirmishes probably not so much. Although if he was going to rely on siege alone, I think skirmishes would have sufficed, right? It was only a matter of protecting siege weapons. Well, regardless, he's going right now for Chattagny as well. He misclicked, so he's going for Sultans instead. Chattagny was going to give him extra range on the hand cannoneer, but he was not going for any. He's going for Sultans, which is going to be better for his gold income. It's pretty good. Going for hoarding and masonry at the same time as well, so the castle is going to get tankier. We are in a post-imp situation right now between the Viper and Winchester, where Winchester is locked at 200 population and the Viper is trying to save resources. It seems to me like he's just going to be going for Flemish Revolution now that he's got 3,000 food. So he's going to be going up to 200 military, right? All he's got to do right now is make sure that he's got enough siege at place, you know, at hand, to get the push going after he gets Flemish Revolution, because the Flemish militia alone are not going to be going through the castles on their own. Still +1 champions, yeah, not the best for Winchester for sure. Well, let's see. Viper's gonna go for it, guys. Viper's gonna go for it. He's getting close to 4,000 food. Is this going to work though? We'll see. Now the thing with Flemish Revolution is it's usually very, very taxing on your economy if you cannot recover after that. But with all the food the Viper's got right now, he can go for 50 villagers right away. Right, and he already has the farms up and whatnot, so he should be able to keep on sustaining military production and villager production after he goes for it. But for the time being, he's getting pushed super hard over here by Winchester. He's got the champions as a meat shield, he's got the heavy cavalry archers on the back. And the Viper seems like he's gonna have to flip the switch, but he's not going to have a very strong economy to keep on going for anymore after that. So this is a pretty good situation for Winchester. If Winch can push this out and force the Viper to go for Flemish Revolution while the Viper does not have quite as much food anymore, then it's going to be so much harder for the Viper to bounce back. But that's gonna be game though! And Winchester takes game number 2 to equalize the series. In the Viper, certainly showing some cracks in the armor over here. Winchester causing them. Good job. Equal series right now. We have a 6-game series. Actually, yeah, we have a 6-game series basically guaranteed right now. And I could hardly be any more hyped because Winchester played this one really well. Let's go and take a look at the achievements then. Wow, very, very nice KD over here, about 74 in favor of Winchester. Army high 71 to 65 for the Viper and Winchester. I think the GG might have been called after he resigned, which, you know, post-game chat does not come to capture it. But yeah, pretty good. Economy, much stronger as well for Winchester, getting close to 6,000 extra resources. Meanwhile, faster castle Imperial Age times by quite a bit for the Imperial Age time as well. And, you know, he was certainly putting pressure against the Viper until Viper got to the Imperial Age. It was very good that the Viper was able to hold on and stabilize, but overall Winchester was able to keep on pushing, you know, keep the Viper cornered and eventually starving for resources and for units. Good job. Let's see then. Let's cross Burgundian South over here. Working really well. Sorry. For Winchester. There we go. Working really well with Indians. And Burgundians not quite as good for the Viper. That's going to leave, I think, Indians on a 100% win rate against Burgundians specifically. It's going to be the second match actually. What was the GG condition? Do Burgundians not have skirmishers? Yeah, but we already had champions from Winchester. Champions are going to counter all your trash units. And because he had heavy cavalry archers fully upgraded as well, the hand cannoneer were not giving Viper the defenses that he needed. So he had no answer for it. Also, his economy was heavily compromised. He had almost no wood left either. Wait, I know why he called his wrist? Is that so? That'd be unfortunate. Well, he was out of wood as well. Like, he was not in a good spot at all. Actually, let me show you guys, so you can see as well. Check this out. We have no wood over here, you can see. So yeah, there was only one wood line over here that he was collecting from and he got pushed away. Then over here he had like a very small amount of villagers. Even if he switched all these villagers to wood, it was going to be so bad. There we go. And yeah, for game number 3, we're gonna have Winchester over here with the Berbers, you know, as expected. Let's go and take a look at what the civilization is going to provide him with. He gets with Berbers 10% faster moving villagers. He gets also 15 and 20% cheaper stable units in the castle and Imperial Age, as well as for the team bonus access to Genitor. Now, Viper playing with Hans on the other hand, he gets 50% accuracy on trebuchets. He gets 10 and 20% cheaper cavalry archer units in the castle and Imperial Ages, which is what I was talking about. And then on top of that, we're gonna have for Viper also with Hans, let's see, no need to build houses, but they do start with 200 less, with 100 less wood. For the team bonus finally, 20% faster working stables. As for map generation on the other hand, we have the main goal on the back for Winchester, which is pretty good. We have also a secondary goal down south over here with the other secondary goal on the left hand side for Winchester. It's pretty good. As for stone though, he's got the main stone on the left and the secondary stone on the right. This one is on the back because he's so close to the corner of the map as well. Let's actually move over here a little bit, kind of like this. And yeah, there we go. We're gonna have probably a wall out from here to here, and if he can get away with walls from here to the edge of the map as well, he will be able to secure a massive wood line, plus another wood line over here, and depending on how he goes for the walls up north over here, could potentially secure a good chunk of this wood line, which is gonna be great, of course. He's got the berries in the back as well, and then the gold, of course, right, which is fantastic as well. He could potentially secure the gold over here. There's also the possibility for him to go for walls from here to the TC, which is a little bit easier, right? Something like this. And then from here to the edge of the map, which still secures a good chunk of this wool line around here. So yeah. Doesn't even need to go for... You know, doesn't even need to go for very aggressive walling. The Viper, on the other hand, he's got the main goal down south. As well as the secondary goals, both of these forward. Up north as well. And then we have the main stone in the back, and the secondary stone is on the right-hand side. As for wood, on the other hand, well, we have this wood over here on the back as well that he should be able to defend pretty easily just by going for some walls from here to here and probably from here to here. Well, maybe not so easily. I don't know if he has scouted this woodland just yet. But it seems like it's going to be significantly harder for the Viper to wall himself up, right? Getting the walls up here and up here means that he secures this, plus this, and plus the stone, but no golds, for instance, so that's pretty bad. I think it's probably gonna have to go for something like this instead. But it's going to be pretty tricky. Let's see if Viper knows about the woodlines even. He doesn't know about the woodlines. So are we going to see the walls coming up like this instead? Maybe? From here to here and here to here? That means he doesn't really secure any woodlines though, which is very unfortunate, and all the resources are forward. Very, very unfortunate map generation for the Viper for sure. And we'll see if Winchester can take advantage of his TC location to try and secure himself up a little bit more. Some militia's coming out though for Vinch. Is this going to represent militia into scouts eventually, kind of like what he went for last time around, or is this going to be something else? We'll find out. Viper, on the other hand, well, he's going for the barracks already before the mill as well, so we're going to see a push from both players, although a little bit sooner from Winchester. Viper knows though. Good job. He's found Winchester and he knows about the barracks and he knows about the militias coming out too. Meanwhile over here, well, Winchester is finding out about the barracks from the Viper right now, but yeah, he doesn't know about the militias coming out. And if he's gonna be guarding the barracks in front of it, yeah, he's not going to spot the militias, but well, he's got the zone, so he should be fine, I think. Let's see. Here comes Winchester. He knows about the foragers. We have both militias over here for the Viper though, plus the scout. So we're all full HP army over here for Winchester versus full HP army for the Viper. Viper's going for the quick walls right now, as he spotted the militias coming out. Yeah. And over here on the left hand side, Winchester, he's gotta be really careful. That's good. He managed to get a few hits on the villager without taking any damage himself, so he still can contest the battle over here against Viper's militias. And there we go. He's just trying to bait the villagers away, but you know, Viper's not going to. He's not going to bite the bait. I feel it should be on the way for Winchester very soon. There we go. While the Viper on the other hand is going to take a little bit longer. Winchester's going up on 21 villagers, so I think it's going to be, it's got to be archers. But let's see. Here comes the engagement. Now Winchester's micro over here is pretty solid still, but Viper's going to bring 2 villagers, which makes the engagement much more one-sided. Yeah, Winchester's got to bail. If he doesn't, he's going to end up losing the units over here. Yeah, this is not the best. He's going to end up trading 1 for 1. But HP pool is significantly better. It's a little bit better for the Viper anyway. That was a pretty close trade though overall. Especially with the villagers from the Viper over here. I was expecting that to be a little bit more one-sided. So good job for Winchester. Okay, yeah. Viper knows. Viper knows. Winchester's just bluffing. Is he? He kind of is. Yeah, he's got almost no HP on the militia, so like realistically, what is he gonna be able to do? He's gonna be able to do no damage almost, right? Good job, the Viper over here. Good micro as well. And forward, he's got the scout. He's keeping an eye on what Winchester's going for. And now Winchester's gonna be in the village in 15 seconds. I expect to see a stable coming up because he's not made the switch to gold at all in the end. He's going for gold right now. This is so weird though. The Viper knows about the gold, and he will realize about the gold miners right now, but there's no mining camp. So he knows there's only now a transition to gold. However, Winchester is going for the stable still, so I'm so confused. What is the plan over here then? Yeah, I think it's just probably thinking about upgrades. It's not thinking of making a switch to archers at all. Yeah, it's just for upgrades. We take a look at Viper on the other hand, and what does he have? He's in the village already, but no stable coming up, no archer range coming up. He's got gold miners though, so he can very much go for archers. Let's see. And yeah, Winchester ended up collecting a little bit of gold over here, and then he went back to the TC. Man, I think this might just be mind games for Winchester. I think this might just be mind games from Winchester, just trying to bait the Viper into thinking he was going to go for archers maybe, and just goes for scouts. But now the Viper knows about the stable, so it's going to react with his own stable. And Spearman coming out, of course. He already has the first one, and he's got the second one on the way. This is very, very smart from Winchester. Okay, now he is actually making a switch to gold. I find Winchester's map to be too perfect for him not to get too comfortable. I am not really sure I got what you tried to say over there. Are you saying that his map is too good and there's a high risk of him just playing too passive because of it? I think he still needs to wall because it's very much open still. If he can go for the wall to the edge of the map over here, it's going to be able to defend his entire economy, and then he can focus on trying to put the pressure up. There we go. Scout down for the Viper. Overall KD is still better for the Viper a little bit though. Spearmen are out. Let's check. Yeah, it's probably not gonna be able to do too much. Very good defense over here. Very good unit control for the Viper as well. Keeping the Spearman, yeah, at hand at all times. He does get one free hit over here though on the scout from Vinch. Yeah, doesn't seem like he'll be able to do anything. Viper's military units over there are defending really well. Viper's unit control is fantastic as well. Let's see if Winchester reacts over here in time. He won't, so this might be the first eco kill in the game so far, but Winchester's bringing the scouts himself as well. Alright. Up against the hill though. Yeah, Viper has the lead over here in numbers and positionally speaking as well, so he might be able to get a villager down over here in the end. So here comes Winchester. Okay, Viper's still gonna try to snipe the villager, but it doesn't seem like he's gonna be able to do it though. But, well, there's one scout going down. The villager's probably still going to go down, not quite, but he does end up taking 2 scouts down over here. Meanwhile, Winchester was able to get only 1 scout down over here from the Viper. That is not good. That's not good when you have the defender's advantage over here at all. This is really impacting Winchester's economy much more so than Winchester was able to impact Viper's economy with his own pushes. How much so? Well, we'll see. Where are the villagers? Yeah, he's got some idle economy right now, Winchester, that is. Yeah, and Winchester doesn't have bloodlines, so that's going to affect them as well. If the Viper can go for scale body armor, he basically secures better traits over here, but with bloodlines alone, he's already in a much better spot, so let's see. There we go. We have a hill over here for Winchester, still no bloodlines. Viper's going for wheelbarrow right now, so his full economy is going to be a little bit stronger. He already has 5 extra food workers, so with wheelbarrow, he should be able to keep on sustaining scalp production without any issues at all. Should be pretty smooth. And let's see, Fletchen's coming up now for Winchester as well. Yeah, and the Viper is just going around. He just keeps on roaming around. Be able to get some damage down over here with the Spearman already. He should be able to defend the scouts against enemy scouts from Winchester. He's going after the villager. Fairly low HP Vill over here from Vinch. I'm not really sure why he's got a low HP villager over there exposed. At the very least on the right hand side, he's got full HP Vills left. Yeah, and he's going to bail because of the sheer amount of scouts. To be honest though, a few of these are very low HP, but the Viper with his unit control, I think he might have been able to still get a few kills over there without losing any single scout. So that was smart from Winchester, but unfortunately it's going to end up impacting his economy quite a bit. While the Viper on the other hand is already on his way to the castle edge. Winchester's got some archers over here though, good job. He's got some scouts over here as well, so this could be some good damage coming in from Winchester. Viper has already reacted to the archers and pulled the villagers away from these exposed resources spot. Then over here on the right hand side, it's going to be exposed once again. It's only a matter of Winchester roaming around the scouts, trying to spot the villagers and then sending the archers over. This could be really good. This could be really good. Viper's going for a few scouts himself, but he's got them mostly forward, right? He's bringing them back. And because we have some low HP ones over here once again, this could actually be pretty good for Winchester still. Remember, the Viper's going after the Castle Age, yes. And once he gets access to cavalry archers, you know, he can do a lot of damage, at the very least until Winchester gets access to camel archers. But for the time being, there's 100% a chance for Winchester to get a few villagers down over here and try to catch up a little bit. So he's trying to go after the scouts. He ends up losing archers though. That's one scout going down, two scouts going down. Very low HP scouts over here for the Viper to be sure, but then he's gonna be left, or Winchester is gonna be left on only one archer, so it doesn't seem like Winchester will be able to keep on doing too much damage. We'll see. He's got three scouts though still. But well, in this position, I think a quick wall is going to be sufficient for the Viper to hold on with. A little bit of unfortunate unit control over here for Vinch. Yeah, and Castle Age is already here for the Viper, so he was able to hold on really well. Meanwhile, Winchester is gonna click out to the Castle Age only now, so he's at a close to 3-mana deficit to the Castle Age, sorry, compared to the Viper. And the red player going for the second TC right away. So yeah, Viper's gonna be playing for macro over here for sure. And I think that's probably going to be the case for both players. Whoever goes after the Castle Age first, just gonna be going for extra TCs, just because it's worked so well. Yesterday for Winchester against Leary, and today for the Viper against Leary, against Winchester, sorry, in game number 1 anyway. I'm pretty sure he's gonna try to keep on replicating the success. Anyway, Viper right now, by going for extra TCs, is kind of going to give up on the possibility of massing a good amount of cavalry archers, and I think the longer the game goes, I'm liking Berbers better. So this might not be the best position for the Viper though. We'll see. Alright. Yeah. Cavalry archers over here are very small in numbers, but he's doing a good job trying to spread around though. He's got some knights coming out right now. One knight at the very least. Some cavalry archers roaming around. He might be able to deny some resources from Winchester. This is pretty unfortunate because Winchester had a map generation that would have allowed him to wall to the edges of the map and secure so many resources. But because of the way that he's gone for the walls right now, he doesn't really have anything safe. So Viper could very easily bring a few units over here around the back, right? And strike against Winchester wool line over here. And he could so do the same with all the other resources. Like the gold over here is going to be exposed. Viper could very much go over here, push the villagers away from gold. You know, and we don't even have a secondary wood line for Winchester to collect from, so this is looking pretty good for the Viper. All he's gotta do is just go for a few cavalry archers to prevent Winchester from collecting resources, and then, well, what does Winchester go for after that? Without gold, without wood, he cannot go for cavalry archers himself, cannot go for camels himself. Yeah. He's been able to push him away from wood, now he's gotta try and push him away from gold. He knows about the gold mine over there as well, so he's sending a new patch or a new wave of units. A new batch of units up north. Good job! Well played! Yeah. Winchester cannot do anything forward himself. Viper should be able to defend just fine. Meanwhile, we see a second TC coming up for Winchester, but Viper already has managed to get a 7 villager lead, and because the extra TC is already working, it seems like it's just going to keep on increasing his villager lead. While Winchester, on the other hand, well, it's been a struggle so far, but yeah, the longer the game goes, you know, the more options are going to open up for Berbers. Now with some good camels over here, should be able to hold on against knights for sure. Against cavalry archers, he's going to need a few more units, and ideally he's going to need some siege weaponry over here as well. Second TC is still not up for Vinch, so yeah, Viper's macro over here in a much better, much healthier spot. I do like Viper's position here a little bit better though still. Remember, against camels, you need only 24 hits to take them down. Assuming that we have Chain Bard and Armor and Bodkin Arrow for the camels and the cavalry archers respectively. So the magic number over here is going to be 12 for him to two-shot the units down. He's got 11, which is very close, of course. And it's still going to be fine, you know? What do we get on the left? Wait! What? No way, though! A counter raid coming in from Winchester? How much damage? He was able to get a bunch of villagers down over here with camels for the most part. That is pretty good. That is pretty good for Winchester. Now, the issue though for the blue player is that what he's done right now, he's gotta do like 5 more times before he catches up to the Viper, because despite the raid over there, Viper still 13 villages ahead compared to Winchester. Wow. 30 C's coming up for Vinch as well, and oh god, this is just so inefficient. So many villages not working over here. Oh man, a villager going down to Viper's cavalry archers. Oh man, this is... Yeah, this is not good. This is not good. Once again, the raid over here on the left-hand side from Winchester, this time around did not work out. Cavalry archers are going down. There we go. Is Mem the cameraman? What? No. I'm solo right now on my channel. Well, in the previous series he was, of course. There we go. Really good amount of cavalry archers over here. Very, very strong economy for the Viper right now. Food workers are not the best currently. But yeah, because Winchester is going for camels, he's not gonna be able to get ahead so much. So Viper's gonna be fine. It's going for the 50C right now. 50C, when I saw the fourth one coming up right here, I was like, okay, that might be a little bit greedy, but the 50C, man, I think doesn't necessarily need to produce from all of these. It's going to be mostly for defense purposes. You know, camels around TCs are not that strong because of having no base pierce armor, so they can only go up to +2. If it was Indians, he could potentially go up to +3, but right now it's not really good, and TCs are just going to suffice to defend Viper's economy when he's got no military units at hand. So yeah, there we go, one village going down, but then he pushes the camels away right away. Then he can keep on resuming work. So yeah, right hand side. A lot of cavalry archers. Once again, more than 24 is going to be more than enough to one-shot camels from Winchester. And Winchester's been relying on camels for the most part. Good defense for the Viper as well. It's got about 9 over here. Make that 10. Not the best micro, but he was paying attention over here. He was trying to kite against these camels. Over here, he should still be able to hold on just fine though because of the TCs. Yeah. So the moment Viper goes for a few extra farms, he should be able to start getting ahead in food and potentially mass enough to go up to the Imperial Age. But realistically speaking, I think in the Castle Age already he's in a pretty good spot. And I wouldn't be surprised if this game was over in the Castle Age, especially as the Viper's coming for the 4th castle over here. And this is very reminiscent of game 1 as well. It's a get out of my game kind of castle over here. It's not going to be quite as forward, but it's still pretty good. It denies 1 barracks, the archer range, and the stable. And he denies also the main stone over here, which is going to be able to collect from after he gets the castle up, which will allow him to get enough stone to go for a 2nd castle elsewhere forward. Like an even more aggressive one, most likely. So yeah. If Vinch gets the castle up, it will be just so much harder for the Viper. Yes. Viper's economy should allow him to go up to the Imperial Age faster though, at the very least after he makes a heavier transition to food. And because he's got the castle up over here, it's gonna have, you know, the potential to go for trebuchets. But it seems like Winchester will be able to get a castle up now. The thing is, Winchester's got a fairly, you know, like it's in a corner for sure, but it's a fairly spread out base. So a single castle is not gonna be enough for him to defend everything. And Viper can keep on doing damage for sure. Notice how Viper was trying to play for the wall out over here. Was trying to corner Winchester. He's gonna try to. Yeah. He's bringing the villagers over once again. Does Winchester know about this? He doesn't. He doesn't know about it. Yeah, he can only see the villagers moving over here, but the way, the speed at which the villagers are moving, he's probably expecting the walls to be coming up. I don't know if he's expecting palisades or stone walls, but yeah. This is pretty good. Then if he goes for the walls from here to here, right, he secures the right-hand side, and then on the left-hand side, we see a castle coming up for Vinch. I am not a big fan of this castle, and I think Viper can end up taking the game right here, right now. If he realizes about this... He doesn't. Now he does. If he realizes about this, he cleans up the camels, and he takes the villagers down. There is no chance Winchester's gonna be able to get this castle up, and I think this guy is the GG play. Okay, what's going on? Viper knew about the villagers. Go for it, go for it. Now he's going for it. The castle is at only 50%, and I think the villagers are going down, so that castle is going to get denied. I think that's going to be GG, guys. Yeah, Winchester goes for it right away. So the reason for the position of this castle, I think it was to prevent Viper from getting the walls up on the left-hand side. But he had no military control. After losing the camels over here, it was lucky for him that the Viper did not after the villagers right away, but he ended up finding out about it anyway on time to deny the castle, and that's going to secure game number 3 going in favor of the Viper. It was gonna be at on a lead right now, on a 1-point lead, 2-1 against Winchester, in a really interesting series so far. I can tell you, it's already been unexpected. You know, with Winchester taking game number 2, it's already been kind of unexpected because, you know, with Winchester, even against Leary yesterday, I don't think a whole lot of people were expecting him to take too many games, right? But yeah, I have faith. I think this is going to be a pretty good one. Still, I think Winchester definitely has strong civilization, so we're probably going to get some more games for Vinch, hopefully. I hope it will go to 9 games. That'll be pretty good. That'll be pretty good. Let's take a look at the achievements then. What do we get for military? Better than 3 to 2 KD ratio for the Viper. Army high of 56 to 16 for the Viper and Winchester respectively. And for economy, about 6,000 extra resources for the Viper. There you go. Let's go back. And I'm here, just in time. There we go. Let's see what we get then. Perfect. Incas versus Lithuanians. We have talked about this already. There is no precedent for this one before. So, yeah. Guys, Winchester with Incas is going to begin with a free llama. He gets also 10 population support per house. He's just going to be going for 1, of course. On top of that, we also have for Incas 15% discount, stone discount on buildings, as well as villages being affected by blacksmith upgrades starting in the castle age for imperial, for infantry units. Meanwhile, for the team bonus, they get twice as fast seeding farms. Meanwhile, we take a look at Viper civilization, and for the Viper with Lithuanians, it's going to start first off with 150 extra food, right? Which is going to be pretty strong for him, especially with how well he's been able to macro the previous games. On top of that, we also get 10% faster movement skirmish spearline units, which is pretty good for Lithuanians. And we're gonna have also for the Viper, let's see, with the civilization, 1 extra attack per relic garrison on knight and lightest units, up to 4 extra attacks, so up to 4 relics. Now let's go and take a look at the map generation really quickly. Starting with Winchester, let's get first off the main goal on the left-hand side, right? He's got the secondary goal on the left-hand side as well, and the other secondary goal is actually up north over here. You can barely see a glimpse of it. Meanwhile, the main stone is on the back, and the secondary stone is on the left-hand side. The thing, though, is he's got only 2 wool lines on the back. It's going to be very, very hard for him to wall himself up over here. He's going to have to go for something like this, maybe, and it's overall not the best map generation for sure. We take a look at the map generation from the Viper, on the other hand. You can see that Winchester was going forward with the Eagle, but wasn't able to find anything. We take a look at the Viper's map generation on the other hand. And what do we get over here? We have the main goal forward. It's got the secondary goal on the back, and the other secondary goal is going to be down south on the left-hand side, as well as the main stone down south and the secondary stone on the right-hand side. Now, Viper has actually, as you guys were saying the other day, he's crash landed the TC on the map because you can see the crater around it. What do we get over here? We have 2 wool lines, right, for the Viper, and it's going to be once again very similar. Can potentially get, oh god, he can potentially get the walls up here maybe, but he wouldn't really be able to secure any wool lines, and the berries are exposed, the golds are exposed. Like the hills over here around Vipers are awful. I don't really know if I could prefer anyone's map generation, even if we do not have a perfect crater around the TC from Winchester over here, still the resources are exposed. And we have a small hill over here, like a small mound, right next to the berries, and we still have the main goal, right? Over here on the right-hand side on top of the hill, so yeah. The predictions are on, right? Did you guys already bet on players? Or did I forget to enable them? I think I remember to. Sunglasses look incredible, by the way. Oh yeah, thank you. I love them. You know, when the stream started and Mem said there was a problem with your eye, I didn't figure that it was a glitch with the camera. I thought it was that I had a red eye or something, right? Because you said I had to convince people that you didn't kill anyone. And I was like, oh crap, maybe I have like a burst vein or something, right? That I didn't realize about. So I just put on the sunglasses. And it turns out it was just a camera. Well, whatever. It's okay because both the map sucks. I predicted someone will win, so I know I'm going to win. That's good. That's good. I think you're on a good track. Yeah. Militia's coming forward for Winchester already. The Viper, on the other hand, has got no barracks whatsoever. It's just gonna be going for full scouts by the looks of it. 19 population he's going at. Pretty standard for KOTD. Winchester, on the other hand, you know, he could definitely have gone up significantly faster with Lithuanians, and he could definitely have gotten the Drush coming a lot sooner as well if he wanted to as well, but let's see. The prediction already ended, or is it not available on mobile? I think it might have ended already. Yeah, it ended already. Wait! Yeah. It ended already. Good job. Might be able to get some good damage over here, though. Remember, scouts, Eagle Scouts are a little bit stronger compared to Standard Scouts in the Dark Age anyway. Oh, but Winchester! What's going on over here? He ends up getting chunked for about half HP. Oh man, those militias are not in good shape anymore. Viper might be able to just get them down with villagers alone. Let's see. Yeah. Winchester's just trying to bait the villagers, but the Viper is being super cautious over here. He's not going to fight unless he's got a guaranteed hit first. So yeah. There we go. Yeah, and the militia's going down. That is pretty good for the Viper. You know, Winchester's going up on 22 villages, so we're gonna see archers coming out over here for sure. It's making a switch to gold already. And the Viper over here should be able to hold on against the militia just fine. You know, he's already in the field age, so you can take him to scout for sure. 1v1, but not so much against the militia and the scout. Stable on the way. Yeah, and this is pretty much what we were expecting, right? Scouts for Lithuanians, and Winchester on the other hand, well, not quite as much of anything right now. Of course, it still needs to get to the fuel age. But he's under almost no pressure. The first scout from the Viper's coming out right now, so that's gonna be the second scout total. And he knows about the gold miners over here. The quick wall's coming in from Winchester though. Good job! Good job! Yeah, that's pretty good. And he's going to finish building this as well, so he's going to be completely fine. Against scouts anyway, he's going to be fine. It's only until Viper starts thinking of adding skirmishes maybe that Winchester will have to wall himself a little bit further, or go for a defensive tower, or go for his own, you know, skirmishers. There we go. It's going around. Yeah, it doesn't seem like he'll be able to do much of anything. Winchester's got Spearman already coming out. He is going for the walls towards the TC as well, so I think he should be fine. Yeah, good pressure. But it's fine. Winchester is about to finish this. Well played, so now the scouts are kind of trapped a little bit. See extra units coming over from the north. Yeah, so far he's been unable to get a village down. But if he plays the patience game over here, he might be able to get a villager in the end. He just needs to keep on roaming around with the scouts, take advantage of mobility, outpace the spearmen. Then eventually he can circle around and go after the weak villagers again. Like there's 2 weak villagers over there, plus another one over here too. Yeah, there's still potential for damage over here for the Viper. We'll see. Winchester is just gonna try to go up to the castle age though, by the looks of it. He's getting a tower up over here. He's getting the quick walls up as well. Just in time. Good job. And yeah, this is closed, right? Yeah, it is closed. Yeah, it is closed. Well played. And he's gonna be thinking of going up to the castle age. The thing though is, okay, now it makes sense. He's going for 1 stone miner. I was going to say, the thing is, Winchester historically has tried to go for extra TCs when he gets to the castle age faster, at the very least in the last few series. Certainly was the case against Leary. But now he's not going to have enough resources, right? But he did send the villager over to stone a little earlier. There we go, he's got 2. So he will add extra TCs once he goes up, but for the time being, he does not have the resources. It was getting very close, but yeah. Meanwhile, Viper over here is going for gold. He's got a good amount of farmers, but because of the extra scouts he went for, and now he's going for skirmishes right as well, that's going to keep him kind of pinned in the fuel age for the time being anyway. Let's see. Yeah. There we go. Winchester should be able to hold on over here just fine. There we go. Wheelbarrow is coming up now for the Viper as well. And overall, good job. Winchester is able to hold on over here just fine. He's getting the blacksmith, so he should be on his way to the castle age very, very shortly. While the Viper, when he realizes Winchester is off to the castle age, is gonna try to rush it himself. But I don't think he's got a market, does he? If he doesn't have a market, he cannot afford to go for one right now anyway. So yeah, I think it's going to take a little bit of time. He does have 16 villagers on food though, and only 1 TC, so he's about 400 resources away. That's going to be about 2 minutes or so. But yeah, Winchester's got a significant head start over here. Never gonna get housed again. I kind of seems that kid. There we go. Archer's coming in though from Winchester. Good job. He's just been playing defensive over here. Another barracks on the way, so he can start going for Eagle Scouts as well and try to mass them up before going for the Eagle Warrior upgrade. He's got the 3rd one on the way too, and now Viper, I think he knows about this. Yeah, he knows about the other barracks coming in, so let's see. Winchester's gonna try and do some damage over here. Viper's only now starting to get the walls up. Well, Winchester already has 5 archers forward with fletching, so shouldn't really have much of a struggle over here trying to get villagers down as soon as he can close the gap over here. There you go. That's 1 villager going down for sure, and that might be 2 villagers going down for the Viper. We'll see. Winchester's got the hill over here. He cannot land the shots though, but he's still disrupting Viper's economy greatly. So he did a really good job. Meanwhile over here, the Viper cannot do much of anything. It's got all these skirmishers and scouts to play with, and because we have the walls down for Winchester around here and the TC protecting the back of these buildings, he's gonna be able to keep the barracks alive for the time being, and this is pretty good. This is pretty good. Viper's economy got completely disrupted. He's got 0 lumberjacks right now. Nothing. Nada. Niente. Rien. Lumberjacks for Mr. the Viper. And there we go. Now we should see Winchester go for Eagle Warrior very soon. I would like for him to go for, well, he needs the upgrades first, right? He needs to go for scale mail armor first, because these units are honestly not that strong. Extra TC coming in for Winchester, as expected. He will try to go for economy as he's first to the castle age. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a 3rd TC coming out very soon as well. While the Viper, on the other hand, well, it was significantly later to the castle age. We still don't have crossbows for Winchester over here, so it doesn't seem like he's gonna keep on trying to go for more archers anymore. it's just going to be full Eagles. He can get another villager though. Good micro for the Viper. Yes, and he can save the villager for the time being. But Winchester already has production going. He's got 9 Eagle Scouts. He still does not have scale mail armor, which I think he needs with urgency. He's going for Squires right now. I don't know, man. Like, he's already here. Does he really need to go for Squires? I would probably prefer for him to try and prioritize some of the other upgrades. I guess it's fine, but like, scaled mail armor is 100% necessary. There we go. What's Winchester doing over here? Is he AFK? No, he's not. He was trying to place a 30C by the looks of it. Well, at the very least his economy is gonna be stronger, but there's gotta be careful. Viper is going for knights already, and we don't really have a whole lot of eagles left for Winchester. He's going for monks instead, which is still pretty good. If he can take care of the scouts, yeah, there we go. Now there's going to be only knights for the Viper, right? So eagles are actually, so monks are going to be enough for him to defend himself. Yeah. This is very, very reminiscent of what we would see from Winchester versus Leary yesterday. Winchester is just going to try and play for economy over here, try to play defensive, get ahead. He's got the 30C coming out while the Viper's only placing the second TC foundation right now. Yeah, there we go. 30C's already up for Winchester. Good job. And his second version over there as well, that was pretty good for Winchester as well. He's about to finish researching wheelbarrow, so his economy is pretty good. Viper's got wheelbarrow already, but Winchester is going to start getting ahead in villager count significantly. Viper still does not have enough resources to go for the 30C just yet. There we go. Yeah. Lion going down as well. It's no problem. Winchester's just getting some scouting information with those eagles. It's quite clear he's not going to be going heavily into eagles anymore. He didn't even get the first defense. So it's just going to be for... It's just going to be playing for economy over here. I would like for him to get a few monks out. If he could go for the pikeman upgrade, that would be ideal. But it seems to me like he's going to be pushing for the Imperial Age here instead. That can be strong, you know? Imperial Age eagles, elite eagle warriors. They can hold on against knights just fine. So it could be pretty strong. But we are still, you know, some ways off. There we go. Extra lumber camp coming up, and Winchester is just going to balance his economy right now. He's getting the castle up? Okay. Interesting. Just to defend himself. Okay. Well, this castle is going to be in between all 3 golds, right? It's not really securing any golds, but we already have the tower over here. We have the DC up north as well. I think probably I would prefer the castle a little bit further down south to the left-hand side, probably to the left of the market, but yeah, it's still good. We have more monks coming out. Viper doesn't really commit to knights either. Both players are just going to be going for economy, but Winchester with a head start already has 8 extra villages. Let's take a look at the gathering time so far this game. Looking better for Winchester by about half an hour, or close to it. We're going to take a look at the total amount of resources collected so far. And it's looking better for Winchester by about 600 resources. So if he can balance his economy without relying on the market necessarily, and he can go up to the Imperial Age first, he's going to have a good economy to get the push going with. However, the Viper won't be trailing too far behind. Yeah, we'll most likely see both players going up to the Imperial Age at only probably a minute or a minute and a half of difference. And I'm pretty sure the Viper's keeping an eye, close eye on the score. Because he knows that Winchester is going to be playing for it. Second relic's coming in though, but it seems like Winchester realized about the monk earlier, so he was able to take it down. So far, it's 2 relics for each player. If Winchester can secure this one, that is huge, because the Viper cannot go more than +2 attack anymore without more than 2 relics, right? And why is that so huge for Winchester? Well, Lithuanians in the past, they used to get Blast Furnace on top of the bonus, but now they don't have it. They only can go out to Iron Casting, so getting 2 relics is barely going to allow you to keep up against another player with Blast Furnace. If you get 3 relics, that's already going to allow you to get past the effect of Blast Furnace, right? So yeah, if Winchester can collect this one, that's going to basically keep Viper to standard stats for the most part. It's going forward, he's going to go for another castle drop. Where is he going to place it though? It seems to me like he's going to be trying to place it in between the gold and the stone, maybe? He's going right in front of the goal, okay. Kamayuk's coming here, guys, yes! And there's a counter castle coming in for the Viper, but take a look at Winchester's economy. A lot more farmers, he's got a lot more resources. Probably gonna be the first one to go up to the Imperial Age as well. And let's take a look at the Viper to see if he's got a market again. He does not have a market! Viper does not have a market! So he cannot buy his way up. He's got a lot of gold over here. Meanwhile, Winchester, on the other hand, is gonna be on his way to the Imperial Age in no time. He's got the buildings already. Yeah, and he doesn't even need to use the market to go up. He's only 100 foot away. Meanwhile, the Viper's trying to get the counter raids going over here because Winchester sent all the monks forward. He doesn't have any defense over here, only 1 monk left. Yeah, and the Viper's just gonna try to get the raid. Just gonna try to get the raid going. Viper was able to keep this one down for the time being, but Winchester just going for another one. Are you kidding me? Imperial Age is on the way for Winchester while he gets a second castle up in front. Still under some pressure over here on the back though, for sure. A lot of his economy is idle, and he's lost a villager lead at this point already. But hey, getting to the Imperial Age this much faster means most likely we are going to see Skirmishes coming up. He's going to take the castle down from the Viper, and then without Lightus, Viper's going to be confined to only, you know, Cavalier line units, which are not going to do so well. Especially against Kamayuks, like the monks are going to be so good too. And with only 2 relics, okay, he does have the 3rd relic he collected in the end. He gets only 1 extra attack in the Imperial Age compared to if he had Blast Furnace. So it's not too bad. I think it's still pretty much alright for Vinch. He's gonna try to get this castle up as well. Well played. Good job. They're way weaker than before. Well, they were super strong before. I think it's alright. I think they were super strong. The thing with Lithuanians, this is my opinion by the way, of course, only. But the way that I saw Lithuanians before is it was a very strong civilization with a very high potential. They can be very strong in the late game once you collect relics, right? And you can say, yeah, well, they have to get to that position. If they collect the relics, they earn it. But unlike other civilizations that work similarly, like Mongols, for instance, which you have to survive until the late game and then you know, start getting ahead. Lithuanians did not really get punished earlier because they had a fantastic fuel age and a fantastic castle age as well because of the extra resources at the very beginning, the faster moving trash units as well, you know. So it's not like they were punished before. So now, yes, getting the relics can potentially still get you better than fully upgraded knights, but it's not going to be anywhere as broken as it was before. If you had 4 relics before, plus Blast Furnace, and you did not get punished before, like, you know, your civilization shines everywhere, it's yeah, it's pretty tricky. And now they get Wing Hazard as well, so it's kind of like a trade-off. Let's see. Good job. Kamayuk's taking villages down. How often do you see this? Appreciate the moment. Yeah, let's go for another one. Good job. And he keeps on bringing more as well. Well, we had 2 treasures already for Winchester, right? He's deploying these, so the castle from the Viper should be going down in no time. Meanwhile, the Kamayuks keep on raiding over here, and Winchester's looking strong, guys. 35 military units to 8! It's got over 4 times the military compared to the Viper. Good job. If he can get fabric shields as well, you know, these Kamayuks are no joke, man. He's got chain barred armor, chainmail armor, sorry. If he can go for playmail armor and fabric shields, those Kamayuks are super tanky even against ranged units. So yeah. Castle's going down. These ones are staying up from Winchester. There is no counter raid coming in from the Viper whatsoever, and Winchester keeps on roaming around, pushing the Viper away from resources. And guys, this might very well be the equalizer because Winchester is looking unstoppable. There's no military production from the Viper whatsoever. 106 villagers, yes, but no military. Is only now going for a hand cannoneer. And what is that going to do against Incas? Not much of anything, because he can go for arbalesters. Incas are an incredible, versatile civilization that Winchester should be able to win this game with, as long as he does not go AFK or something. So yeah, the hand cannoneer coming in for the Viper, but I don't think it's going to suffice. We also have block printing coming in for Winchester and Iron Castle too. There we go, another castle up over here for the Viper. It's gonna go down very soon. Imagine Viper had done crossbows instead of 2 siege, workshop and rams. Right. Well, yeah, with crossbows, you know, we could also have seen a switch for Winchester to either Eagle Warriors or crossbows himself, of course. That's the thing, like, Incas are just so open, so versatile, they can go for anything. And military count's starting to catch up a little bit for the Viper for sure, but I think he's probably going to end up losing the castle anyway, won't he? 3 Skirmishes over here. Yeah. He's just chewing through the stone resource. Let's see. It's interesting that Winchester... Okay, there we go. He's going for skirmishers. I was going to say it's interesting that he's just sticking to Kameyuks and pikemen when, you know, he's unable to push. And he's been with the same units for so long, he should be expecting the Viper to be going for something against this, and now he knows about the hand cannoneer, but he's going for skirmishes, so it's good. Yeah, both castles might have crumbled over there, though. But let's see if he can still take this. We'll see. Why the Venge need redemption? With redemption and block printing, you can convert the bombard cannons, but he ended up losing the monks over here, so he cannot do it anymore. Wow, that was pretty solid defense for the Viper, not gonna lie. Good job. Yeah, the Skirmish is going down over here to the bombard cannons and the castle staying up. That was masterful defense for the Viper. I honestly thought this game was over about 5 minutes ago. Now Vinch can go, of course, for skirmishers himself. He can also go for arbalesters, of course, so we'll see what he decides to go for in the end. He's going for plate bar than armor. Well, Eagle Warriors are not going to work over here, clearly. So what is the plan? Conscription? Alright. He's got only 1 castle left. Well, you know, he can go for... He's still going for more Kameyuks, but I would definitely like for him to consider going for Eagle Warriors and just try to raid around. Because Vipers... Hand cannoneer are going to be relying on numbers, and he's got these forward, right? So if he can go around with some Eagle Warriors, he would still be able to do some good damage. The same thing he's doing with the Kameyuks over here, but Eagle Warriors would be so much more mobile. Base raiding units. Enjoy while it lasts. How the Winged Hazard do against Eagles? You know, that's actually a pretty good question. I have not analyzed that before. If anybody can say in the chat, it's very much appreciated. Otherwise, we can just wait for Winged Hazard to come out and we can do the math real quick. Buy castles, buy Kameyuks? Well, that might be for the best. If Winchester makes a switch into something more mobile, it's going to be better. It's good damage though. The range over here for the Kameyuks coming in quite handy as well, because he can prevent the Viper from getting quick walls up. Well played. Yeah, and the conversions are pretty good. That's exactly why he needed redemption. There's only 1 bombard cannon left over here for the Viper, and Winchester is keeping the castle up for the time being. Imagine he gets this bombard cannon down, as get converted as well, and then he can try and take the trebuchet. Good job. Viper can get Hazard versus Eagles if he gets the time to transition. Yeah, which is why I wanted to see Winchester go for it earlier. Well, for the time being, he's still the one doing The Raiden, though, he's putting pressure up over here. 1, 2 more villagers going down. Viper down to 102 villagers. However, military count significantly higher for the red player. This will be so hard on Winchester if he ends up losing the game, because he was in a winning position about 7 minutes ago. He has a much stronger economy right now to work with. He's just struggling to find an answer to Viper's units. There we go. It's kind of corner right now as well. Trying to go for stone over here. We have hand cannoneer and skirmishers from the Viper on the right hand side, down south. Yeah, Viper's collecting from the neutral goal as well. This might be an incredible comeback from the Viper. In my opinion, this game should have been over. But yeah, the Viper's defense was just amazing. Yeah, and Viper's unit control is pretty good. Spreading around everywhere on the map. Preventing Winchester from collecting resources and keeping him kind of cornered over here as well. Looking pretty good. Now he's going for Eagles, yes. The question is it going to be too little too late though? I think the Viper is going to have the time already to make the transition. You can see he's going for Blade Barden armor, right? And he's got the light cavalry upgrade, so all he's got to do right now is go for Winged Hussar as well. And then we can do some quick math. Not only does the Viper get a win, but a win that was very entertaining. Hand Cannoneer versus Cameos doesn't get much easier. Oh! Winning versus Incas would be huge for Viper. Yeah, for sure. This is one of the top civilizations for Winchester. To be fair, I think this is one of the top civilizations for the Viper as well in terms of win rates. But yeah, of course, Incas over here are a huge loss for Winchester if he cannot take this game. We'll see. Okay, extra TC coming out for Winchester once again. 9 out of this game, not by a long shot. Close to 190 population, the Viper on 180 almost, so both players getting increasingly closer to being pop capped. And now the Eagles are coming in. Yeah, Eagles and Skirmishes, it's fine, man, but the unit control's gotta be there. And unfortunately, the problem for this is that Skirmishers are going to be a limiting factor for Winchester's Eagles. Unless he sends the Eagles over to just try and raid only, you know? Let's see. Is Fabric Shield in? I don't think it is, no. No, it's not here. We have only played Mel Armor and the Ring Arch Armor. It's going for Artisan right now, alright. Viper's still not going for Wind Hussar. Instead, it's going for Herbal Medicines. Is it trying to win by score? Oh, there we go. Winged Hussar's coming up right now. And we also have Iron Castle coming in for the Viper. So that's going to put him on, you know, +5 attack. Which is still pretty good. But at the very least, it's not +4. So Winchester was able to prevent some of the extra damage from the Winged Hussar. Or regardless. Actually, not the Winged Hussar, sorry. From Knights and Lighters, but... That's right, with Winged Hussar, yeah, the relics do not play a role at all. That's true. We have 11 attack over here for these units. They have 4 melee armor right now as well. And they have 100 HP, right? So they are going to be taking on the Eagles. Let's see, with 11 attack, the Eagles are going to be taking 8 damage per hit. That's going to take about 8 hits, yeah. Winged Hussar are going to take the Eagles down in 8 hits. Meanwhile, Winchester, on the other hand, with 13 attack over here, can deal 9 damage to the Hussar, and it's going to require 11. So actually, the Winged Hussar are going to take down the Eagle Warriors faster than the Eagle Warriors are going to be taking the Hussar down. Now we see Fabric Shield, so just take all the math that I just did and throw it off the board, because it's going to change. Now the 11 attack over here for the Winged Hussar is going to be... dealing not quite as much anymore. Only 7, I think. Yeah. But it's still going to require 8, regardless. No, it's going to require 9. It's going to require 9. Yeah, still though, the Winged Hussar are taking the Eagles faster than the Eagles are taking the Winged Hussar. Vipers put the where are the Vipers putting the castle? Well, Viper's got a castle in front of his own resources, and then he's got one down over here south as well. Seems like he was able to push Winchester away. Yeah. This is so bad, man. When you have a trash unit that's going to take your gold units faster, You know you're in big troubles. What's that difference between Wing Hussar and regular Hussar? I think Wing Hussar are a little bit higher HP and they have extra attack, or am I wrong? Unfortunately, I don't think we have a command for Wing Hussar, but you can do exclamation mark Hussar info as a single word, no spaces. So HUSSARINFO. And you're going to get a whisper with the stats for Hussar. But yeah, I'm pretty sure these are a little bit tankier and they are a little bit stronger too. Okay. This guy's is getting denied though from Winchester. Is it though? He might be able to get it out, but he's losing a lot of villagers and he's keeping a lot of his military over here while the Viper's gonna start raiding around as well. Yeah, it's certainly looking a lot better for Viper. Now we see, okay, now we see the Viper going for tower shields. There we go. So now his trash units are going to be so good. Architecture coming in for the Viper as well, keeping the castles up a little bit longer with extra HP. He's got the siege tower. What's going on over here? Well, he's not going to be able to utilize this for much of anything unless he just wants to go past the castles, right? I guess. That's certainly a misclick. There we go. Yeah, GG's coming in from Winchester. Well, man, the Viper, once again, his trash units were going to take on Winchester gold units, and Winchester did not have much of a gold economy anymore. We had raids going everywhere, as we already noticed earlier. The units for Winchester, they were majorly on the same area down south over here, meanwhile the Viper was going to start raiding around, right? So there was no defense for Winchester. Ends up on 17 military units compared to 67. The Viper ends up taking this one. This game, I was certain it was going to go in favor of Winchester earlier when he was getting the push going around Viper space, but he could not secure the deal. And now the Viper was not only able to hold on and come back, but now he's gonna be 3-1 ahead in the series, putting himself 2 games away from taking the entire tournament, and there are still 5 games left. It's looking pretty good for the Viper if you ask me. Let's go and take a look at the achievements. Really, really strong comeback, yes. Fantastic KD over here for the Viper, better than 3-2 with an army high of 75-73 as well, while for economy we get also a much stronger economy for Winchester, collecting about 5,000 extra resources. Besides that, we also get for technology faster castle imperial each times, we have a faster fuel each time for the Viper instead, and for society, well, we have 146 villages max over here for the blue player. So well played, let's go back. Let's cross the civilization south once again with Lithuanian South over here. That's going to be one of the top 4 civilizations from the Viper being used. While with Incas over here, that's going to be already 2 out of the top 5 civilizations for Winchester being used. We're going to have still Aztecs, Britons, and Ethiopians, if I'm not mistaken, with above 50% win rate for Winchester. Meanwhile, the Viper on the other hand has got Chinese, got Tatars, and he's got Vietnamese. So we should be able to jump into the game right away, guys. Let's go for it. And what do we get over here? Well, Winchester's on the left-hand side playing as Byzantines, which means 10, 20, 30, and 40% extra HP on buildings in the Dark Feudal Castle and Imperial Ages. As well as for Byzantines, 25% cheaper Skirm, Spear, and Camel Rider units. And on top of that, we have for Byzantines also. Let's see. 33% cheaper Imperial Age cost. They get also free Town Watch and free Town Patrol. That alone can be extremely high value upgrades. For the team bonus on the other hand, their monks are going to be healing units 100% faster compared to other monks from different civilizations. But Viper on the other hand, playing with Japanese over here, is going to have 2 main bonuses. The first one is a 50% discount on drop-off buildings, and the second one is going to be 33% faster attacking infantry units starting in the Feudal Age. Those 2 are key. Why? Well, because the rest of the bonuses, first off, for Japanese are for water, but the faster attack in infantry units and the cheaper drop-off buildings makes it very smooth for them to go up to the Feudal Age and start taking advantage of that right away. So we are most likely than not going to see Viper go for Men-at-Arms into Archers. Now, Men-at-Arms against Byzantines can be very effective, as Byzantines are usually, you know, expected to be going for trash. So we'll see what we get over here. Viper could be going for it. It's predictable, yes, but it's super strong, and we have seen it work plenty of times. Let's take a look at the map generation, starting with Winchester. He's got the main goal on the back. He's got the secondary goal forward. We have the secondary goal on the back over here as well, and then the main stone is forward, and the secondary stone is up north, right? To the left-hand side. It will be kind of tricky for Winchester to wall himself up over here, but he's fairly close to the corner of the map, which means this is a possibility, but he needs to realize about it first. He needs to realize about the wood lines. If he does end up going for these walls, he would eventually end up securing this goal. He would end up eventually securing this goal as well, and the berries as well, right? Which is pretty good. However, if he doesn't realize how close he is to the corner, if he doesn't realize about the wood lines over here, he could potentially end up just going for some walls like this maybe, which is not going to protect anywhere near as much. Especially the wood line over here, which he should definitely be able to protect if he does go for the walls like this, right? He protects this one, but not like this. Taking a look at the map generation for the Viper, on the other hand, he is also fairly close to the corner of the map. And he could potentially also get the walls going, right? To the edge of the map, kind of like this, maybe. It doesn't need to be quite as, you know, expansive nor expensive as Winchester's. But he would still be able to secure a wood line over here, plus the gold, plus the berries, and that's pretty good. The main goal, though, is down south, and we have the main stone up north with the secondary golds, one on the back, which we already talked about, and then the other one up north. But the secondary stone is on the left-hand side down south. This is probably the easiest way that he can wall himself up. That's going to secure the most resources. But if he does not want to go for the walls to the edge of the map, he's probably going to end up going for something like, yeah, more like this, right? So maybe something like this instead. Which in my opinion is not quite as good, especially as he does not secure a single wood line. But it depends. If he does end up going for the walls like this, in the end it's okay. It's just going to be a little bit more, it's going to take a little bit longer, right? And it's going to be a little bit more expensive for him to get away with. A little bit greedier as well, and a little bit more punishable. And preventable as well from Winchester. Battles coming in for the Viper, you can see it's after the mill as well, and is when he's already on 19 population, so this is quite clearly going to be men-at-arms archers. Meanwhile, Winchester, on the other hand, he went for the push, the pre-mill Josh. He's got 2 militias coming forward already, and he'll try to put pressure. Why? Well, he wants to force Viper into taking the battle before he gets to the fuel age. He wants to force Viper to keep the militias at home, so he does not have anything to, you know, do damage with forward once he gets to the fuel age anyway. Viper's poor map is gonna keep him more focused than the Russian. Possible castle GG. I don't know, it could be, it really depends. It really depends on the players, of course, but it could very well be the case. Yeah, Imperatore. Fair point. We'll see. One thing's for sure, though, he kind of has to keep focus around the Winchester space, which is why I'm so, you know, intrigued to see Winchester coming in so early over here, because he should be able to keep Viper's attention around here. And there we go. You can see the Winchester is already going for the walls we were suggesting. I think he's gonna be walling both these woodlands as well. Does he know about it? Yeah. So it's gonna be walling to the edge of the map. That's pretty good. Viper's map generation, if he wants to completely wall himself as opposed to walling towards the DC, is a little bit trickier to get away with compared to Winchester, but I think both players get away with similar walls if they go to the TC only. I'm not exactly sure what Viper's gonna go for in the end, though, still. We'll see. There we are. Militias are about to become men-at-arms over here, so Viper is already in the fuel age. Okay, good defense for Winchester though. Yeah, it doesn't seem like Viper will be able to do much of anything. I don't think he's got a hill over here to take advantage of. Maybe around the house. There we go. Yeah. The house is definitely going to be going down a lot faster. Meanwhile, the militias over here, unfortunately, did not succeed. For Winchester too. Oh, to keep the focus on Viper's base, but now the Viper's coming in here. Is gonna be able to block the villager with the scout. I think he's body blocking it. I think he might be able to get the villager down. That's gonna be first blood, guys. First kill over here, going in favor of the Viper. Taking a villager down as well, so try to keep on doing some more damage around. Keep some roaming. Meanwhile, Winchester's only now getting to the fuel H. Archer range is coming up for sure. He's got some gold miners over here, so we're gonna see archers coming out eventually, but yeah, Viper's looking pretty strong. Also, he was the first one to get to the fuel H anyway, so he's had production head start. As you can see, he's got already a skirmisher out. And he's already got archers coming out, while Winchester's only now getting the archer range up in the first place. So yeah, Viper Scout was very low HP for him to prevent the walls from coming up anyway. So the Minotaurs cannot do too much damage over here anymore, I think. Yeah. And Winchester should be able to hold on. So the big question here is, how does the Viper bring the archers in? Because I think, yeah, there's already wall, right? I think this is... Oh, dude, it's open. It's still open. He can bring the archers forward. Where are the archers, though? He's trying to push the militias away. Well, definitely would have preferred for him to try and be more aggressive, given that the militias were not going to be able to do much of anything around his base, but still. Yeah, this is going to remain open until Winchester realizes about it. Right? Yeah, it's open. 100%. There you are. Good job. Yeah, Viper space. Okay. Yeah, not much going on. I didn't really think he was going to be able to do much of anything with the militias, which is why I wasn't paying attention around here. I think I might have been able to get one villager down because KOTD is 1-to-1 right now. Let's actually go back a little bit. Let's see. Oh yeah, he's getting one. He tried to get the quick walls, but Winchester ends up getting this one. Okay, good job. That was pretty good. Yeah, that was pretty good. Meanwhile, Viper's units go down over here. Well, Winchester was able to equalize, right? Viper's getting a lot of extra idle TC time as well, so all this microing that he's been doing around is certainly going to come at a price. With extra idle TC time, we also have a higher villager count right now for Winchester, so if he's able to hold on over here, it's going to be fine. Yeah. The Viper's still not bringing any units forward. He's not bringing the archers forward. He's got some units over here. Now he's going to be thinking of going in. And this is still very much open. This could be really bad for Winchester. If the Viper realizes about it, then Winchester doesn't. Let's try and catch up right now as well. We were behind a little bit. Okay, there we go. Just gonna be going 2x. Yeah, good job. Wow! Yeah, Nova, if you notice I forgot to resell with Prime, feel free to remind me. I'd like to support you. Thank you so much, Tico. Wow, that's very much appreciated. It feels so awkward though, because it's like I'm subbed to Capture H Pro, but then you guys sub to me. It's like Twitch is winning and PayPal, right? I do appreciate it. Well, I mean, you do have your Prime star, right? So you don't have to pay for it. So that's pretty good. Thank you so much. Then forget everything that I said. Then it does make sense. Appreciate it, Dico, and welcome again. 4 months already. It's pretty good. Thank you once again, man. Let's see. How are you feeling on finals day? Really good. The 3rd spot series that I could cast with Mem, I think went pretty well. And this grand finals, of course, this could potentially be a longer series than expected for sure. but currently Viper's looking very strong. Well, I mean, in general, right? There we go. That's what I was talking about. The opening. Winchester forgot about. Now the Viper's coming here. 3 scouts. Gotta be taking villages down as well. It's got the archers over here to even take on Spearmen as well. So that's 1 villager going down. Only 1 for the time being, but a very, very big disruption around the wood line. Keep on roaming around as well. He can keep on roaming around with the scouts over here. The quick walls coming in for Winchester, though. Really good job. There we go. And that's another villager going down? Yes. Yes, that is. Another villager going down. There's a very low HP scout over here left, though. So only 2 archers left. But you know, he plays his cards right and he gets another villager down. Winchester might be on his way to the castle age, but his economy got severely disrupted in the last minute. Might end up losing yet another villager over here. And that's already an KOTD of 6-1 in favor of the Viper. Seems like he's gonna be able to go up to the castle age, but probably a little bit later. Let's see. Yeah. There we go. Viper ends up losing the archers, but they already more than paid off. Some extra skirmishes coming in. Well, what does Winchester get once he gets to the castle age? He's got enough stone to go for the TCs, he just does not have enough wood. Especially not now that he's going for a stable, right? But it seems like it's going to be knights. Knights and what? Archers? Yeah, he's going for more archers, right? So it's going to be knights and crossbows. It's going to be pretty strong still. You might not have bloodlines with Byzantines, but it's still going to be a pretty strong army composition. And Viper, well, Viper has been going for skirmishes for the most part only. With a single knight, you're going to be able to clean all of this up. There we go. Castle Age is on the way for the Viper. But we have a massive head start of 1 minute and 54 seconds, I think, in favor of Winchester. 56 seconds, even. Here he comes. We see Botkin coming in. It's got for the most part skirmishers, but he's going to go for crossbowmen anyway. He's got some archers coming forward. Second TC coming up. This is pretty good. I didn't think he was going to have enough resources to go for the TC right away, but he does. So if you can get this one up, that's already going to allow him to get extra villages. And you know, ball players have been playing for economy this series whenever they can. So yeah, this might be exactly what Winchester needed. This might be exactly what the doctor ordered for Winchester to take this one. There you go. Yeah, good job. The one knight cleaning all the skirmishers up, as expected. Meanwhile, Cross is over here, pushing Viper away from woodline. And because he did not go for the walls to the edge of the map, he does not have a single safe woodline. So, on paper, Winchester should be able to deny all of these. He just needs to keep on roaming around, of course. So, if he can just keep one skirmisher over here and just keep on roaming around, he might be able to even deny these resources. Which would be amazing, of course. Camels coming in for Winchester, interesting. Now with 18k viewers, that is pretty good. I'm very happy for him, man. You know, he's always struggled before to grow his channel with his tournaments. And hopefully with KOTD4 is going to be different. Certainly the biggest tournament he's ever hosted, so that's pretty nice. Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted to see. Winchester just give up on this wall line. It's already, you know, empty. And he roams around. Now he knows about this one as well. He's got the camels, got the knights over here. Viper might end up taking a lot of losses. He has got only one knight himself. Going straight after the skirmishers. Does he really need to worry about the skirmishers? I don't think so. Camels and knights and crosses are going to be much deadlier. So Viper's economy is definitely heavily affected over here. Let's go and take a look at the gathering economy so far. Winchester has been better overall, and I think the majority of the difference over here has come just from the last 2 minutes that he just kept on raiding around the Viper. Now that's gotta be a lot of villages down, right? That's gotta be probably 5 villages down at the very least. The one reason I think the Viper might not be calling the GG right away, despite taking so many losses over here, is the fact he was able to get so much damage done around Winchester's base before he was able to click out to the castle age. Remember, with the opening around the woodland, he was able to get a bunch of villages from Winch. but definitely still a much better position for the blue player. If he can keep on putting the pressure up over here, he might be able to seal this one off. But there's also the chance for him to go for a 3rd TC and try to play for economy again. The Viper, if he goes for extra TC, is just going to be playing catch-up. And if he tries to go for 1 TC full aggression, well, good luck pushing against Byzantines, man. A defensive civilization on Winchester's hands? Yeah, it's looking pretty good for the blue player. That's crazy damage, yeah. But still the Viper, though. Better Eco KD, 7 to 6. That's the only reason he's not giving up just yet, I think. Good defense. Yeah. Where's the 30C going to come up for Winchester? It doesn't have a safe spot over here. We have hills. It's probably around here, I reckon. Right? There we go. Second TC is coming out for the Viper. If Winchester doesn't go for the 30C and he doesn't keep aggression, though, if he doesn't commit to one thing or the other, he's going to give the Viper enough time to come back again. So he's gotta be careful. At the very least, with only 2 TCs, the Viper is just gonna be playing catch up, as Winchester is still on 2 TCs himself. So he's been on 2 TCs since earlier, of course. So he still has a 13 villager lead he should be able to hold on to. As long as both players can keep both TCs working at all times. Good job. Yeah, good defense. We see more units coming in for Winch though, so it seems like he's gonna be sticking to 2 TC full aggression. Well, he's got almost enough to go for a 3rd TC. I would definitely like for him to go for the TC here regardless. And even if he does not want to go for triple TC village production, which I think he's probably going to go for given the amount of villages he's got queued up, I think he's still gonna be trying to go for economy, but I do like some extra pressure over here to make it difficult for the Viper to try and catch up at the very least. Viper skirmishes only against Byzantines? It's not gonna work? Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, Winchester's not going for the 30C. Instead, we see a Manual coming out. And extra crossbows being queued up. Okay. So what is this going to be then? Winchester's had a chance to go for a 30C a few times. It seems to me like he's going to be sticking to 2 TC full aggression. Maybe he's going to add a 3rd TC once he gets a little bit of a stronger economy so that he can keep on sustaining production of military units without, you know, villager production affecting his push too much. I think that's fine. He's got 16 extra villages right now, which is pretty decent, of course. He's missing some upgrades though, for sure. Still does not have wheelbarrow, doesn't have heavy plow. He's going for wheelbarrow right now, so that's pretty good. And with Byzantines, of course, you know, if he's gonna be sticking to 2 TCs only, instead of going for the 3rd TC and going for extra villages, he might be able to save enough resources to just go up to the Imperial Age. And he's got the gold already, right? He's only missing the food. I think that might be the play. I think Winchester's gonna try to go for arbalesters over here and bombard cannons probably. He's got almost enough resources, man. Where's the second building though? He's missing... Yeah, there we go. He's going for a university. Yeah. And Imperial Age is gonna be on the way for Winchester while he's putting pressure against the Viper. This is pretty remarkable for the blue player. There we go. He ended up using the market to buy a little bit of extra wood to get the TC up, right? But that ended up hurting his goal, so now he cannot really go up quite as fast, but he should still be on his way up, and there he is. There he goes. So yeah, the fast aim times have won Winch so many games, and now his biz as well. Yeah, he's doing a pretty good job. So I was kind of wondering what he was going to go for, either 2nd TC and full aggression, or 2 TC fast imp, or triple TC. He's going for 2 TC fast imp into 3rd TC as well, so his economy is going to keep on growing, you know, further and further ahead compared to the Vipers. Assuming that both can keep TCs working anyway. Or at the very least, it's going to prevent the Viper from catching up, in any case. Once he gets imp, he's gonna start retaking the lead. Or growing it up again. Oh god, what happened over there? A little bit of a struggle for the computer by the looks of it. Good job. Yeah. Good pressure from the Viper, but Winchester's only 50 seconds away from the Imperial Age. Viper, nowhere near having the resources to go up to the Imperial Age, of course. And honestly, with Winchester getting to Imp and getting Arbalester, you know, Bracer, Chemistry as well, I think he should be able to even take on the Skirmishes over here just fine. Plus, of course, going for Chemistry is going to be so good, as he'll get access to Bombard Cannons as well. Against which, Japanese specifically don't have an answer for it. Unless they go for Cataparuto Trebuchets, maybe. I don't think anything else is going to work out for them. They do not get Bombard Cannons themselves. And of course, Cataparuto requires a very expensive technology and a castle and trebuchets, so much more straightforward for Winchester to go for BBC. There we go. Arbalester's coming in, Bracer coming in. You can see Winchester's going to the hill. Viper over here is trying to get some damage done, but it's unlikely he'll be able to achieve much of anything. Winchester, let's see. Should be able to hold on over here, just fine. Three manas though. Good job. Good splits from Winchester. Viper ends up deleting the mantle over there in hopes to do some damage, but he's unable to. And now with extra range, Arbalistus over here, Chemistry coming up, is gonna be able to take the manas down no problem. He's got extra range, and of course, also with Bombard Cannons coming out very soon as well, it's going to be pretty good for Winchester, absolutely. There we go. That's a good shot though. But the mantle goes down still. How many Arbalists? Wow, he got 3 Arbalists over here. That is not bad. Now Winchester doesn't really have too many units to go forward with, but he's still so far ahead. I mean, he's only 12 villages ahead right now, right? And he's been taking some questionable Magnum shots for sure. Now the Viper's gonna try to get both, and he does get both. That's pretty good micro for the Viper. But Winchester is still in the Imperial Age. He's going for Bombard Cannons, and now any unit he produces, those are going to be significantly stronger compared to anything the Viper's got access to, right? Well, the Viper, on the other hand, with Castle Age, units only, he won't be able to take this game. He might only be able to delay Winchester's push until he can click up to the Imperial Age, but Imperial Age is going to be absolutely necessary for the Viper to take this one if he wants to come back. So there we go. Left hand side, we have some Skirmishers, yes. So far not doing too much of anything. There we go. Meanwhile, Winchester on the right hand side is going for the Bombard Cannon. Should be able to take the tower down as well and thus prevent the villages from finding safety, right? Good job. Good defense over here for Vinch. Well played. Yeah, there we go, and the tower is going down. So around the center, it's just Winchester sending units forward and just kind of trickling army. Meanwhile, up north, Winchester is going to end up losing the skirmishes over here for sure, but it doesn't really matter. I think he should be able to hold on over here just fine. And yeah, it's mostly about how strong Winchester's push can be in the center. He's been struggling though to get the push going. Viper's been able to hold on really well. Yeah, Viper's trying to get the Bombard Cannon with villagers. Take a look at that. Oh man, I think the Bombard Cannon was taking like 1 hit or 1 HP loss per hit. For Castle coming in for Winchester. Oh, and he relocates as well. He will go for a get out of my game Castle. But don't get misled by this, guys, because we saw the exact same thing in the previous game from Winchester. He was up in the Imperial Age fast. That was actually very, very close. You know, Viper could have gotten the foundation down over here. But yeah, this is what we saw in the previous game as well. Viper was later to the Imperial Age, and he still was able to come back, right? This time around, though, Winchester is looking pretty strong still. Wow, Viper's just going to call it GG. He had the resources to go up already, but he did not want to keep on trying. So that's going to be the 2nd point for Winchester. And guys, that puts us on an... What is this going to be? A 7-game series? Yeah, it's going to be a 7-game series guaranteed already. Winchester taking game number 5 over here. Let's go and take a look at the achievements. And, you know, this is pretty good as well, because Byzantines for Winchester, they were not the strongest civilization he had left. But then the Viper's not going to be taking any bad losses either. Like, Japanese were not a very, very strong civilization for him to play with. He still has Chinese, Tatars, and Vietnamese. But let's go through the achievements before hopping back out and taking a look at the civs. So about 6 to 5 KD ratio in favor of Winchester. We have also, for economy over here, a stronger economy for Winchester. In the end, he ended up collecting about 2,300 extra resources. Given the scary amount of extra villages he had, I am actually surprised that this is not much higher. But Viper did do a good job of getting some raids going, especially around, the Castle Age, when he was, just parking the Skirmishes in between the TCs from Winchester and denies so much farming and whatnot. Definitely could have been a lot worse for the Viper, but yeah, Winchester is still definitely looking much better. Faster castle, faster imperial signs for Winchester as well. Overall, really well played. 105 villages max, go figure. Now let's go back. Alright, there we go. And welcome you guys, welcome everyone then to game number 6 in the series between Winchester and the Viper. We have Winchester playing with Sicilians. Viper is gonna be down south playing as Tatars, Winchester's up north. For the civilizations then, that means Winchester is going to have first off with Sicilians. Well, what does he get? He's going to have 100% faster building TCs and castles starting in the Castle Age. On top of that, for Sicilians, for Winchester, we also get 100% extra food on farms, as opposed to your standard amount of extra food per each farm upgrade. Besides that, we also get access to dungeons, as opposed to towers, and 100 extra stone upon starting the game. The land units also absorb 50% of bonus damage, which means that they take a lot less bonus damage from enemy units except for siege weapons, while for the team bonus on the other hand, it's going to be actually for water, so let's just disregard that one and move over to the Viper civilization. For Tatars over here, the Viper gets first off 50% extra food from herdables, is going to have 2 additional sheep underneath each new ability C starting in the Castle Age, as well as free Parthian tactics, free thumb ring, and he gets 25% additional damage when fighting against enemy units from higher elevation. Now let's see though, the Viper's trying to get the lane going over here. Okay, Winchester's gonna try to prevent it. He's got the hill. It's a very, very tricky position for Winchester because Viper's got the hill right now and Viper can potentially go after the goat, try to take it down. That's a good hit over here for Winchester though. They're just micro-nerding. But it seems like Viper's going to get away with... Wow! He got a free hit over there. That was really bad for Vinch. And yeah, Viper's going to get away with taking 2 goats away. I think it's going to be fine. I think the farm upgrades are going to compensate for this a little bit. But yeah, I was in the middle of talking about Viper civilization. The one thing that I did not mention yet was team bonus. And they get 2 extra line of sight on the cavalry archer units as a team bonus. Let's go and take a look at the map generation then, starting with Mr. Winchester. He's got the main goal on the back. He's got the secondary goal kind of on the back, but more to the side over here on the right hand side. And then he's got the secondary goal on the left hand side down south. And the main stone on the left, right? Secondary stone is down south over to the right hand side, but he should be able to secure the stone. Should be able to secure also the gold over here by going for walls like that. But it's going to be pretty tricky. He wouldn't really be able to secure the berries unless he goes for standard walls, local walls around the resources. Instead, something like this. And yeah, it's pretty tricky. He doesn't really have a whole lot to work with over here. He might be able to secure 1 gold, 1 stone, and that's about it. Taking a look at Viper's map generation on the other hand, he is a little bit closer to the corner of the map, but because of the way that the wool lines have generated, it's not going to be quite as straightforward for the Viper to go for walls from here to the edge of the map, right? Kind of like this. So yeah, instead, let's see, he's got the main goal forward and the secondary goal forward, right? The other secondary goal is on the right hand side, while the main stone is on the right hand side, and the secondary stone is down south over to the left hand side. I think he should still be able to wall to the edge of the map, but mostly over here. If he does get away with these walls though, he will be able to secure the stone, he will be able to secure the berries, and he will be able to secure a wool line over here. As a matter of fact, 2 wool lines. There's another one down here. But not so much for any of these resources. These are going to be tricky. There's a few things that he can do. He can potentially go for the walls like this instead, right? And try to protect this one. Or he can just try to go for the walls around here and just try to protect the gold and then wall towards the DC, and then he can go for the walls over here as well. We'll see. Probably the easiest, most straightforward way for him to wall up would be going for something like this instead. But yeah, it's not particularly cheaper and it doesn't really protect the wood line, so I would definitely prefer for him to go to the edge of the map instead. Let's check. Already on 20 population, Winchester is going to be going after the fuel edge, needs to go for a house. The Viper, on the other hand, is on 23 population, so he's got militias coming far, right? Yes. And he's going up significantly later. It seems like it's going to be Drush into archers, into either crossbows or cavalry archers, of course. Both things are going to be quite viable for Tatars. Good job, Viper getting here though. Uncontested is really good for him. Might be able to get a village down. I think he's going to get it! I think he's getting the first block. Good job. Actually, the first villager, not the first block. Well played. Yeah. There's a barracks coming out for Winchester. Still kind of open over here though. But there is not too much pressure coming in from the Viper anymore. It's got only one militia, less than full HP as well. Alright. So what is the plan? Once Winchester gets to the fuel age, he's gone up on 20 population. It's quite clear it's going to be scouts, right? Scouts can be very strong. For Sicilians specifically, scouts are going to work even better because the 50% bonus damage thingy that they get as a team bonus will allow them to get much better traits with scouts, even against spearmen, specifically against spearmen as well. So yeah, it's a lot more viable compared to other civilizations. And the stable's coming up as expected. Meanwhile, does the Viper know about the wood line? He knows, yeah. But he cannot do too much damage. And over here, the scout is fairly low HP as well. Good job. I think it was first blood in the end, by the way, because the unit that the Viper lost was militia himself. So it was at the same time, I think. Okay, Viper's collecting wood from up north over here. That makes me very curious as to what he's going to do for walling. Yeah, this is not what I was expecting, or this is not what I was hoping actually, but this is what I said was going to be a little bit easier for him to go for in terms of walling, but or similar to it, but that means that he doesn't really secure any wood lines, which is kind of unfortunate with the fact that he's very close to the corner of the map in any case. There we go, archer range is coming out for the Viper. Good job. Yeah. And now Winchester. Let's go into the back of Viper space. He's got 2 full HP scouts, or close to full HP scouts, so he might be able to get some damage down. Let's see. He's going right up after the foragers. Quick walls coming in for the Viper over here. Not at all. There's just a spearman over there, and Winchester's not taking the engagement at all. He's got a third scout coming out, but it'll take so long for him to get it. To get it forward, of course. Yeah. Interesting wall for Winchester. This is so awkward, man. What is this? He's going for the walls towards the DC, but leaving the villagers exposed over here to get attacked. That's so awkward. I think it was just fortuitous walling for him. Okay. Archer range. There we go. Yeah, he should be able to get the blacksmith up, no problem. Yeah, overall good job. Neither play is really taking too much damage over here. Both are on point. I mean, Winchester is getting housed a little bit, but he realized in time. Fletching's coming in. Viper already has fletching. Not too much damage, once again, coming in from anyone. But now with the third scout, he might be able to get on the spearman. Well, 2 of these are very low HP, so even if you're not gonna be taking quite as much bonus damage from the Spearman, you gotta be careful, man. Yeah, these scouts are still very low HP. Even, you know, villagers don't have bonus damage against scouts, and they can take on these already. So yeah, Winchester needs the reinforcements, and he's bringing some skirmishes forward. Viper's economy looking pretty good. A little bit of it is going to come from the extra goats that he was able to steal from Winchester, you know, getting 50 extra food or 50% extra food from those. He was able to lay the farm so much, you can see that he still is collecting from the goats, which is just remarkable, of course. We take a look at Winchester on the other hand. Winchester had to go for a lot more farms. He does have Horse Scholar though at the very least, so that's pretty good, but hey, no way, what? Viper's coming in right around the TC from Winchester? What happened? Winchester's here, yeah. He was just not paying attention. That's one villager going down. You know, Viper with 3 archers over here can be so deadly, man. Good thing though that he was not paying active attention to this, otherwise he might have been able to get more villagers down, but 1 villager down is already some good damage, as Winchester's lost 2 villagers so far and Viper's lost none. Winch also on a little bit higher idle TC time as well, so the villager count right now is actually 3 higher for the Viper. Let's take a look at the units over here. Winchester, not paying attention. This is what I was saying. The scouts over there might not be taking quite as much bonus damage, but they are still going to be very fragile if on very low HP. Another one going down for Vinch. Yes. Yes, sir. He can try to get another one, but I think he's going to end up sacrificing the archers. Well, there's a low HP one over here. Good job. So you should be able to take it. Yeah, well played. 4 villages down from Winchester so far. Some low HP villages over here still from the Viper, from Winchester, sorry, but the Viper's got only 2 archers, so won't be able to do much of anything. Meanwhile, Winchester is getting pushed out from the Viper's base. Interestingly enough, the Winchester's economy is actually not looking that bad. He might be behind in gold count, but take a look at all the extra farmers he's got, all the extra food he's got. If he can keep up with this economy right now, he might be the first one going up to the castle age, and that's going to give him a little bit of a time window to try and go forward, do some good damage, and get back. Catch up to Viper's villager count at the very least. But yeah, the value was incredible over there for the Viper. Wow, I think, are these the same archers? Yeah. Yeah, these are the same archers. Same archers he already used to kill villagers with. Okay. There we go. Good job. We have the hill over here, but Viper's up against Skirmishers. Yeah. It's really interesting, right? Winchester with Skirmishers gonna be countering the Viper's units, but Viper with the extra damage from the hill can actually hold on really well over there. Did not end up getting cleaned up, as I think would probably have been the case with any other civilization. Okay. He gets another one. That's another villager going down. I think he had the hill advantage with one of the scouts. Now he's trying to go after another one as well. He's playing the patience game over here. And Winchester's economy is getting disrupted. Now Viper is actually going to be the first one to go up to the castle age. He's used the market to go up. Well, Winchester on the other hand... Yeah, I don't think so, right? Yeah, I'm not really sure if he's got a market even. Does he? He doesn't have a market, so he's gonna need to rely on actual resource income to go up. Well, Viper looking pretty good. I think if Viper ends up taking this game, there's a pretty real chance we're going to see Bohemians next game from Winchester, but we'll see. Yeah, and there's a lot of extra idle TC time for Winchester as well. Let's take a look at the gather economy so far. 1 extra hour for the Viper? What? Unbelievable! That is almost 20% stronger economy for the Viper so far. Huh. Bohemian no Aztecs? He could go for Aztecs. The thing is, Aztecs will be also the predictable choice. He does have still some stronger civilizations left, technically, right? Like he's got Britons, and he's got Ethiopians. But Bohemians over here are kind of like a wild card, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it. I don't think it's necessarily going to be the case no matter what, but I think it's not out of the question. in any case. I mean, we saw this actually before, right? Aztecs being left as a leftover civilization. That was pretty interesting. For sure. And it was, I think, in the series between Winchester and Hera for the last game, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think that was it. Well, anyway, the Viper gets to the castle edge, and what does he do? He goes for the second TC right away. It's pretty interesting to see how the players are figuring out the meta, even as we trail, you know, close to the end of the tournament. Like now we are getting a lot more consistent strats from players. Usually just trying to go out to the castle edge ASAP, doing some damage in the fuel edge, but trying to go out to the castle edge, not delay it, and go for extra TCs. Has worked really well in the last few series. Good damage. Only one woodland over here for Winchester, man. It doesn't seem like he'll be able to collect too much from this one at all. There's a dungeon over here. He's getting to the castle edge himself. Once he gets to the castle edge, he's going to be going for a siege workshop. He's got to go for a siege workshop. Or is he going to go for elite skirmishes and just try to defend with units? No siege workshops. Well, it's understandable. He can probably go for a second TC elsewhere, man. If he can secure another woodland, that's going to be so much better for him. The problem, though, is the map generation is not the best. Like, we have a huge hill over here. So he can go for a TC around that area to defend the gold, to defend the wood, right? There is another huge hill over here as well. He can go for a TC around here whatsoever. And then down south over here, over to the right-hand side. This is flat terrain, but he's actually already taken this, right? By going for military units, or buildings rather. So he would only be able to go for a TC maybe here, which is super exposed. And in front of a hill as well, so maybe a siege workshop around here could potentially do some good damage. So yeah. Viper on the other hand is getting the 30C already up. Now looking the best for Winchester, not gonna lie. Already with the Viper's much stronger economy, he's looking so much better. But then on top of that, there is the fact that he's got a much stronger civilization right now on a map like this with extra damage from the hills. And especially because of the way that the map has generated around Winchester's base with so many hills around, this can be so tough for the blue player to come back from. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, Viper gets pushed out. But he doesn't, like, he's not under pressure to do damage. He's already done plenty of damage. 7 villagers he's taken so far, and he's already ahead by 18 villagers. It's Winchester, the one who's gotta come back over here and, you know, going for extra TCs. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be the way to go about it. So instead, it's going to try to collect enough to go for a castle by the looks of it. Okay, I mean, that's fair. You know, with Sicilians, you do want to play for extra TCs because of the First Crusade upgrade. But if you're already going up on the back foot, trying to go for extra TC is just going to be so much more expensive on your already very weak economy. I feel like it would have been better for him to just try to go for like knights maybe and siege and just try to get the push going and try to YOLO this one out. And rely on the fact that, you know, it's very hard to counter them because of the bonus damage bonus. But instead he's going for the 30C right now, so... yeah, I think he's just gonna be playing catch up. I think Viper should be able to stay ahead. He's got already 22 extra villagers. Cavalry archers coming out from the Viper. That's pretty good. He's probably gonna be prioritizing villager production now. Once again, he needs to go for a few extra farms, right? And then he's going to prioritize villager production. So we're not going to see too many extra cavalry archers coming out, but he might still be able to get some good pressure going. We'll see. He's roaming around. Let's see about this. What is he going to do though? Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of open areas for him to raid around Winchester's base with the dungeon over here and the 3 TCs already up. I think Winchester's gonna be fine for the most part, but yeah, Viper's just gonna have to keep on playing for eco then. Now he can keep all 3 TCs working, so can Winchester, but yeah, still, 19 extra villagers for the Viper. He should be able to prevent Winchester from catching up. So far, eco upgrades better for the Viper as well, with heavy plow as well, which means the villagers are going to be carrying extra resources. On the farms, it's going to be getting extra food over here. Winchester certainly wants to go for heavy plow as well, especially because of how much value he gets out of the farm upgrades, in any case. There you go. Tatars versus Sicilians. I'm pretty sure I'm somewhat of a snooze fest. It'll be a snooze fest till the end of the round. We'll see, we'll see. Mangle coming forward from the Viper. Yeah, and Viper should be able to go up to the Imperial Age faster, for sure. Still on 18 extra villagers. Wow, this is a pretty good position for the Viper. Notice how he's able right now to keep production. Oh, that was a great mounted shot. But yeah, I would say, notice how the Viper's able to keep triple TC villager production while he goes for triple archer range. Cavalry archer production, he was going for 3 cavalry archers at the same time over there. Well, we'll see. He's trying to go for a 4 castle, but it seems like he's gonna try to relocate the castle foundation to be even more aggressive than he originally intended. Not really, okay. There we go, counter castle coming up over there. Oh, but the castle, that was so close though. Oh boy, the castle's getting denied though for sure. He almost takes the foundation down, and yeah, this is a very good position for the Viper. A lot of cavalry archers. The Magnus over here putting pressure up against Skirmishers for the most part and TCs. Well, with the Magnus and the Knights he's got, he should be able to take on the Skirmishers just fine. So, seems like the TCs are going down over here in Winchester. Well, in the split of a second over there, or actually in a fraction of a minute, ends up getting completely overrun over here. And I think the Viper is pretty sure to take game number 6 over here. As Winchester is unable to keep on defending himself with the castle already out, that TC should be going down. And with the Manos over here as well, then he should be able to take the TC down. So Winchester does call the GG. Viper performed really well in game number 6, solidifying his lead and making this a 1-game series. If in the next game Viper wins, he ends up claiming the title of King of the Desert for the 4th edition of this tournament. While Winchester, on the other hand, well, his only way back into the series is winning 3 games back to back. Let's go and take a look at the achievements then. What do we get for military here? We're gonna have a better than 2 to 1 KD ratio for the Viper. It's actually going to be more like 11 to 5. For Army High, on the other hand, 42 to 30 as well for the Viper versus Winchester. And that's pretty interesting as well. I found it very curious how he went for the full pressure early on, as opposed to going for the Imperial Age first and just try to take the game from there. I guess he didn't want to give Winchester too much space to work with, but yeah. What else do we get? We're going to have a much stronger economy for the Viper, collecting above or close to 7,000 extra resources at the end of the game, with technology on the other hand. Looking better for the Viper, going out to the Castle Age faster. The Fuel Age was a little bit later, but he was able to do so much more damage in the Fuel Age even against Winchester, so that was pretty good. Society, on the other hand, 105 villages. Once again, how fitting, right? In favor of the Viper compared to 72 for Winchester. In the end, you can see Viper lost 1 villager this game, while Winchester, out of 84 villages he trained this match, went down to 57, right? So that's like, what, 27 villages I think he lost? So yeah, good job. Let's go back. It's going to be Britons versus Skimmer for Winchester and the Viper. This one we just managed to see, and Britons against Skimmer specifically, once again, they have played 2 times and they have won. So let's see. Welcome everyone then to game number 7. That's actually the prediction. Oh, wait. Oh, Viper's going forward already. He wants to take this one right away, and I don't think Wait a moment, Winchester knew about it. He had vision of the boar or the rhino, but he's not going for it. Wow. Let's take a look at the rhino over here while I enable predictions. Again. There we go. And let's start predictions up then for game number 7, right? The fact we are getting to 7 games over here is already pretty good, of course. I'm going to make this one only 2 minutes, guys, because we are already 3 minutes into the game, okay? You had 2 minutes to, yeah, to put some bones for whatever player you prefer. Wow, Viper's getting goats as well, so he's getting the rhino, he's getting goats too. I don't think he took his own rhinos yet, right? No, he's got both these still. Okay. Winchester knows about the rhino, is gonna try to go for it. Is he though? Is he though? I feel like he needs to go for it, man. He's not going for it. Wow. Elon game bows, what to do with these? Gamble them away. I mean, play the predictions game. Yeah. Winchester's not going for it. I don't know, man. I feel like this is wasting a chance of equalizing. Now he's gonna be on only one rhino. And I'm pretty sure he should know at this point that he's gonna lame. So that was a very strong start for the Viper. Let's go and talk about the civilizations real quick. For Winchester, when Britons is going to get 25% faster working shepherds. He's going to have also 50% food, wood discount, sorry, on TC starting in the Castle Age. As well as 1 and 2 extra range and food archer units in the Castle and Imperial Ages. Except for skirmisher units, of course. As for the team bonus, on the other hand, he gets 20% faster working archer ranges. Now, we have seen Britons, all the times that they have played against Khmer, win. But I don't remember an instance in which they got lamed. And so bad as well, especially with 25% faster working shepherds. Losing goats over here is also going to be quite tragic, while the Viper, on the other hand, is gonna be getting food for days, of course. He still hasn't taken the boar or the rhino from the back. Viper's civilization, on the other hand, he's got... What does he have? With Khmer, he's going to have 10% faster moving battle elephant line units, as well as the ability to garrison 5 villages inside houses. He's going to have also the ability, actually his farmers are not going to need meals or TCs to drop food on, and he does not get affected by building requirements. As for the team bonus, on the other hand, we also have for Khmer 1 extra range on Scorpion units. Now, that could be pretty good. Yesterday, we saw Khmer versus Britons again. I think it was in the set between the Viper and Jordan. And we saw Jordan go for Ballista Elephant. That was a pretty interesting thing to see, but I think there was a little bit of miss micro around Jordan's, you know, unit control over there. I think it could have been better. But yeah, I'm certainly hoping we are not going to see the same today from the Viper. Or if he goes for Ballista Elephant, it's fine, but if he needs to take better care than what Jordan did yesterday in any case. We'll see. There we go. Does Viper go Ballista Elephants to show Jordan how it's done? Well, the same matchup, right? I guess he could. We'll see. Let's take a look at the map generation, starting with Mr. Winchester over here. What do we get over here? We're gonna have the Mingle on the back, right? We have also secondary golds on the left-hand side up north. And then we have the main stone on the left-hand side. Where is the secondary stone? Secondary stone is actually up north over here, below Winchester's name on the scoreboard. It's gonna be pretty tricky. He's got 2 wool lines, both of them on the right-hand side. If he gets the walls from here to here, or actually even better, from here to here, behind the wool line, he should be able to secure this one, right? And then he can go for the walls like this, and probably from here towards the TC. Meanwhile, if we take a look at the map generation for Winchester, on the other hand, we have, okay, the main goal forward for him, and then he's got the secondary goals on the left-hand side down south. Meanwhile, we have the main stone on the back and the secondary stone on the right-hand side. Both these woodlands are forward though, so it's not going to be possible for the Viper to defend the woodlands quite as well as Winchester could potentially defend these by going for walls. Like at most, he's gonna be able to go for a small arena himself, but yeah, not the best map generation for the Viper. Let's see if this is going to be enough for Winchester to potentially, you know, catch back up after getting lamed and get some damage done. We'll see. Hey, Oceaning! How are you doing? Hi! Welcome back. Hope everything's going alright. Khmer have 90% win rate versus Britons in this tournament? Really? In the entire tournament, maybe. No. That doesn't make any sense. Britons actually have a 100% win rate in the main event. Are you talking about qualifiers, maybe? Okay. Nice snipe over here from Winchester. Getting a villager down from the Viper. Already starting strong. First blood as well. It's going over the right-hand side. Might be able to find some villagers over here. Well, Viper's got some houses, so you should be able to defend over here just fine, right? Just hop onto the into the house. Let's see. Yeah. Winchester's on 3 scouts over here. 3 scouts versus 4 scouts. 1 spearman for each player. So far, no upgrades for anybody. No bloodlines. Of course, Winchester kind of go for it, but no bloodlines for the Viper. He's got no scale bar than armor either. That was pretty good for Winchester, all things considered, you know? I'm kind of wondering if he's going to make a switch to archers right now as well to complement the scouts. That'd be so good, man. Scouts and archers. It's going to be kind of pricey, of course. Are you talking about Khmer versus Britons like on all KOTDs? Because in the main event of KOTD4, Britons get a 100% win rate against Khmer. 87.3% of the percentage are made up. That sounds legit. Yeah. If it's a percentage, if it's statistics, I'm going to buy it. And no matter the source. Okay. Interesting. He's relocating the archer range. Alright. I'm doing well. Abyss, yeah. Thank you so much for asking. Have you been keeping up with the tournament? It's been amazing. And Winchester's performance has been just remarkable. Even if he ends up losing this one, which is 100% possible, of course, against the Viper. This has just been an incredible performance for Winchester, and it's certainly going to catch attention for, you know, for the next few tournaments for sure. Hopefully he's going to be able to keep up with the standard that he's kind of setting for himself over here. Alright, yeah, it doesn't seem like anybody's gonna be able to do too much damage anymore. Winchester's getting the walls up over here. Well, he's still kind of open on the gold, I guess, but he's got the spearman, right? So he should be fine. And it's going to be a counter-strike. Now the Viper coming forward. And Winchester going forward himself. 7 scouts for Winch. About 8 scouts for the Viper over here. We do have spearmen though for Winchester. It's got 3 over here to work with, so that's pretty good already. But let's see, the Viper's going for it. The spearmen are going the wrong direction. Now the scouts cannot do anything though. The spearmen are there. Good job from Winchester. And now forward. He's got some scouts coming forward, but Viper already has quick walls around the golds. He's got spearmen around the woodlines, and of course he's got plenty of houses over here to hop into with villagers if deemed necessary. Let's take a look at this though. 2 spearmen going down over here. The Viper still has a good amount of units. He's got bloodlines right now as well, so these scouts are upgraded. He's taking on the spearmen as well. Did not lose a single scout so far, the Viper. He's going for it. He's going to just dive. I think he's not going to get about the TC, will he? He will, okay, but he gets a villager still. Good job. Scale bar and armors coming in for the Viper. As well for +1/+1 defense. Meanwhile, Winchester on the other hand would not be able to go for it himself at all, of course. And he's taking a lot of damage over here on the spearman. He could not take a single scout down. I think these units from the Viper so far have gotten how many? He's gotten 6 kills. 2 eco units. And he's gotten 5. Now it's going up to 7 kills, right? But he's gotten 2 eco units and 5 spearmen so far, I think. And now with the hill advantage over here, he's going to be taking the scouts for sure from Winchester. Winchester needs to go back over here, though, because if he tries to get some damage done over here, he's probably not going to be able to. Because if he does not have the units grouped up, then the Viper can clean up the scouts, and then all of a sudden Winchester does not have anything to defend the archers with, and now he's going to get surrounded. The Viper's going for it, guys! Winchester will lose the archers over here, but will he lose the scouts, though? It seems like it's going to be fairly even. However, in an incredible turn of events, the Viper is clicking up to the Castle Age. Absolutely crazy stuff. Good job. Good job. Winchester doesn't have the resources to go up. Extra stables over here coming up for the Viper as well, so that's quite clearly going to be for night production. He's got only 2 total, I think. Yeah. On the archer range coming out right now for Winchester, the second one, but this has been so good, man. You gotta give it to him. I think that's probably in no small part thanks to the Rhino. To the Rhino and to the 2 goats. That just impacted Winchester's economy so bad. So badly, anyway. Yeah, and Castle Age is gonna be on the way for Winchester very soon, but Viper's got an over 2-minute head start to the Castle Age already. Good defense as well. Meanwhile, taking a look at over here, the scouts still roaming around and still doing damage, man. It's just unbelievable. Another villager going down. So far, 4-1 Eco KD in favor of the Viper. Really, really good stuff. And Winchester is only now going to click out to the Castle Age, but the Viper's gonna be there already. There we go. Let's see if Winchester is gonna be able to keep up, because if he calls a GG right now, Viper wins the tournament, but it's certainly gotta be demoralized and seeing the Viper get so much faster. Especially after having done so little damage with your units. Feels like you're going up significantly later for no good reason, really. And now the Viper, well, of course, he's going for knights. And that's gonna be much harder for Winchester to defend against, especially as he's got almost no spearmen. He's got only 1 spearman, and then he's gonna be relying on archers for the most part. When the Viper gets Chain Bard and armor, he already has bloodlines. He should be able to take on archers no problem, even crossless, of course. And yeah, there's only like 1 spearman over here, 2 spearmen for Winchester, which will do not much of anything against knights. And here come the units. Here comes the Viper. Winchester's trying to get the quick walls up over here, but this is going to be very expensive on his economy, of course. And you can see that even though he did not take any losses, his worker efficiency has gone down a little bit lower than Viper's even. Less than 70%. And that might be another villager going down. That is another villager going down. Winchester just cannot stop hemorrhaging economy. Still 30 seconds away from the Castle Age. And interestingly enough, Viper's population is actually lower compared to Winchester. It's just that Winchester's units, for the most part, the military units he's got right now, they're not quite as good. Viper's military units are so much higher value, and that's another villager going down. Castle Age is here, so we see Crossman coming up right away. We need to see Balkinaro coming in as well for Winchester. ASAP. Yeah, we have 6 knights over here from the Viper. He does not have all of them forward. Yeah, and that's a lot of spearmen coming in from Winchester, of course. That's looking a lot better. It's got 2 barracks to work with. Let's see. Another villager going down, and another one. More knights coming in. Now Viper's adding scorpions into the mix. It's got a forward siege workshop. Good job. Second TC on the way for Winchester. He's about to run into the light cavalry or the scout cavalry over here. He's got to be careful. Okay. I think Viper knew about the archers. He doesn't know about the foundation. Yeah, he doesn't know about the foundation. Yeah, that's pretty good then. If he can get away with the second TC, he might be able to hold on. For the time being though, Viper's score lead right now is pretty insane. And if you take a look at his economy as well, he's going for wheelbarrow, right? He's about to finish researching chain bar now, but he's not going for knights, guys. He's not going for knights, he's just going for a few scorpions. Are we going to see the Viper try to fast imp over here? Guess that's probably too good to be true. He's going for the second TC instead. Got spotted on the right hand side. There are only scout cavalry over here, but still good enough to get a few extra picks. So far that's going to be 10 villagers down for Winchester so far this game, and we have a 10 villager lead for the Viper respectively. Yeah. Viper does have wheelbarrow though, so that's going to be more like a 13, 14 villager lead for the Viper in terms of economy, effective economy. Yeah, and more scouts over here. He gets cleaned up, but he's already done so much damage. Now the knights over here will go after the crossbows. There are no spearmen over here to be seen. The spearmen are a little bit out of position, but yeah, the knights are not going to get this run going, not underneath the TC. Very, very cautious push over here from the Viper. He's not taking any higher risks than he needs to, so he's just going to go back. Now with the 3rd TC coming up, he should be able to start skyrocketing his villager lead against Winchester for sure. It's gone up to 14 extra villagers so far. Maybe that 12 maybe. But yeah, with wheelbarrow over here already, he's going for heavy plow as well. It's gonna be so much stronger. He should be able to get enough resources to even go up to the Imperial Edge significantly faster compared to Winchester. And well, what can Winchester do? He's going forward. He's gotta put the pressure up, because if he's behind an economy, he needs to go forward and try to punish his opponent. So the game is not over just yet. The Viper's looking very strong, but Winchester's gonna try to come back. Battle Elephants! Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Scorpions over here are pretty good. The elephants are not going to be doing too much against the pikemen for sure. There we go. But we have a raid going on the right hand side that Winchester was not able to react to on time, and that's 3 villages going down, make that 4 villages going down, 5, 6. When is it going to ever end? The Viper's taking the TC with elephants. This is not something you're expected to see, but the Viper's pulling it off. Were you expected to see ballista elephants? Well, that's going to be the second best thing after that probably. And well, there is a monastery coming out for Winchester, but how do you come back from here? It seems like this is just going to go John and Winchester. He calls the GG as the Viper crowns himself champion of King of the Desert 4 to take the crown once again against Winchester in an incredible tournament in a very strong final series with Winchester really performing, you know, at a good level. Gotta be fair. Winchester did really well. He was able to take 2 games over here. Might not have won the whole thing, but damn, he gave Viper a run for his money multiple times. And good job still though. Snake's gonna be taking this one, guys. Let's go and take a look at the achievements one final time for the tournament. We get a very close to 3-to-1 KD ratio for the Viper. Well, we have an army high of 36 to 16 for Winchester and the Viper. And for economy, a much stronger economy for the Viper as well, collecting close to 3,000 extra resources 30 minutes into the game. Faster uptimes as well, and overall an incredible game. Number 7 over here for the Viper. So congratulations to the Viper. We're going to go back. Alright guys, once again what follows is a replay of the last 2 games so that the video length doesn't spoil the result of the series for you, alright? Enjoy, thanks so much for watching and see you next time. And welcome you guys, welcome everyone then to game number 6 in the series between Winchester and the Viper. We have Winchester playing with Sicilians, Viper is gonna be down south playing as Tatars, Winchester's up north. For the civilizations then, that means Winchester is going to have first off with Sicilians. Well, what does he get? He's going to have 100% faster building TCs and castles started in the Castle Age. On top of that, for Sicilians, for Winchester, we also get 100% extra food on farms, as opposed to your standard amount of extra food per each farm upgrade. Besides that, we also get access to dungeons as opposed to towers, and 100 extra stone upon starting the game. The land units also absorb 50% of bonus damage, which means that they take a lot less bonus damage from enemy units except for siege weapons, while for the team bonus on the other hand, It's going to be actually for water, so let's just disregard that one and move over to the Viper civilization. For Tatars over here, the Viper gets first off 50% extra food from herdables. Is going to have 2 additional sheep underneath each new ability C starting in the Castle Age, as well as free Parthen tactics, free Thumb Ring, and he gets 25% additional damage when fighting against enemy units from higher elevation. Now let's see though, the Viper's trying to get the lane going over here. Okay, Winchester's gonna try to prevent it. He's got the heal. It's a very, very tricky position for Winchester because Viper's got the heal right now, and Viper can potentially go after the goat. Try to take it down. That's a good hit over here for Winchester though. They're just micro-nerding. But it seems like Viper's going to get away with... Wow! He got a free hit over there. That was really bad for Vinch. And yeah, Viper's going to get away with taking 2 goats away. I think it's going to be fine. I think the farm upgrades are going to compensate for this a little bit. But yeah, I was in the middle of talking about Viper Civilization. The one thing that I did not mention yet was team bonus. And they get 2 extra line of sight on the cavalry archer units as a team bonus. Let's go and take a look at the map generation then, starting with Mr. Winchester. He's got the main goal on the back. He's got the secondary goal kind of on the back, but more to the side over here on the right hand side. And then he's got the secondary goal on the left hand side down south. And the main stone on the left, right? Secondary stone is down south over to the right hand side, but he should be able to secure the stone. Should be able to secure also the goal over here by going for walls like that. But it's going to be pretty tricky. He wouldn't really be able to secure the berries unless he goes for standard walls, you know, local walls around the resources. Instead, something like this. And yeah, it's pretty tricky. He doesn't really have a whole lot to work with over here. He might be able to secure 1 gold, 1 stone, and that's about it. Taking a look at Viper's map generation on the other hand, he is a little bit closer to the corner of the map, but because of the way that the wool lines have generated, it's not going to be quite as straightforward for the Viper to go for walls from here to the edge of the map, right? Kind of like this. So yeah, instead, let's see, he's got the main goal forward and the secondary goal forward, right? The other secondary goal is on the right hand side, while the main stone is on the right hand side, and the secondary stone is down south over to the left hand side. I think he should still be able to wall to the edge of the map, but mostly over here. If he does get away with these walls though, he will be able to secure the stone, he will be able to secure the berries, and he will be able to secure a wool line over here. As a matter of fact, 2 wool lines. There's another one down here. But not so much for any of these resources. These are going to be tricky. There's a few things that he can do. He can potentially go for the walls like this instead, right? And try to protect this one. Or he can just try to go for the walls around here and just try to protect the gold and then wall towards the DC, and then he can go for the walls over here as well. We'll see. Probably the easiest, most straightforward way for him to wall up would be going for something like this instead. But yeah, it's not particularly cheaper and it doesn't really protect the wool line, so I would definitely prefer for him to go to the edge of the map instead. Let's check. Already on 20 population, Winchester is going to be going after the fuel age, needs to go for a house. The Viper, on the other hand, is on 23 population, so he's got militias coming far, right? Yes. And he's going up significantly later. It seems like it's going to be Drush into archers, into either crossbows or cavalry archers, of course. Both things are going to be quite viable for Tatars. Good job, Viper getting here though. Uncontested is really good for him. Might be able to get a village down. I think he's going to get it! I think he's getting the first block. Good job. Actually, the first villager, not the first block. Well played. Yeah. There's a barracks coming out for Winchester. It's still kind of open over here though. But there is not too much pressure coming in from the Viper anymore. It's got only 1 militia, less than full HP as well. Alright. So what is the plan? Once Winchester gets to the fuel age, he's gone up on 20 population. It's quite clear it's going to be scouts, right? Scouts can be very strong. For Sicilians specifically, scouts are going to work even better because the 50% bonus damage thingy that they get as a team bonus will allow them to get much better traits with scouts, even against spearmen, specifically against spearmen as well. So yeah, it's a lot more viable compared to other civilizations. And the stable's coming up as expected. Meanwhile, does the Viper know about the wool line? He knows, yeah. But he cannot do too much damage. And over here, the scout is fairly low HP as well. Good job. I think it was first blood in the end, by the way, because the unit that the Viper lost was Militia himself, so it was at the same time, I think. Okay, Viper's collecting wood from up north over here. That makes me very curious as to what he's going to do for walling. Yeah, this is not what I was expecting, or this is not what I was hoping actually, but this is what I said was going to be a little bit easier for him to go for in terms of walling, but... or similar to it, but that means that he doesn't really secure any wood lines. Which is kind of unfortunate, with the fact that he's very close to the corner of the map in any case. There we go, archer range is coming out for the Viper. Good job. Yeah. And now Winchester. Let's go into the back of Viper space. He's got 2 full HP scouts, or close to full HP scouts, so he might be able to get some damage down. Let's see. He's going right up after the foragers. Quick walls coming in for the Viper over here. Not at all. There's just a spearman over there, and Winchester's not taking the engagement at all. He's got a 3rd scout coming out, but it'll take so long for him to get it. To get it forward, of course. Yeah. Interesting wall for Winchester. This is so awkward, man. What is this? He's going for the walls towards the DC, but leaving the villagers exposed over here to get attacked. That's so awkward. I think it was just fortuitous walling for him. Okay. Archer range. There we go. Yeah, he should be able to get the blacksmith up, no problem. Overall, good job. Neither play is really taking too much damage over here. Both are on point. I mean, Winchester is getting housed a little bit, but he realized in time. Fletching's coming in. Viper already has fletching. Not too much damage. Once again, coming in from anyone. But now with the 3rd scout, he might be able to get on the spearman. Well, 2 of these are very low HP, so even if you're not going to be taking quite as much bonus damage from the spearman, you gotta be careful, man. Yeah, these scouts are still very low HP. Even, you know, villagers don't have bonus damage against scouts, and they can take on these already. So yeah, Winchester needs the reinforcements, and he's bringing some skirmishes forward. Viper's economy looking pretty good. A little bit of it is going to come from the extra goats that he was able to steal from Winchester, you know, getting 50 extra food or 50% extra food from those. He was able to lay the farm so much, you can see that he still is collecting from the goats, which is just remarkable, of course. We take a look at Winchester on the other hand. Winchester had to go for a lot more farms. He does have Horse Scholar though at the very least, so that's pretty good, but hey, no way, what? Viper's coming in right around the TC from Winchester? What happened? Winchester's here, yeah. He was just not paying attention. That's one villager going down. You know, Viper with 3 archers over here can be so deadly, man. Good thing though that he was not paying active attention to this, otherwise he might have been able to get more villagers down, but 1 villager down is already some good damage, as Winchester's lost 2 villagers so far and Viper's lost none. Winch also on a little bit higher idle TC time as well, so the villager count right now is actually 3 higher for the Viper. Let's take a look at the units over here. Winchester, not paying attention. This is what I was saying. The scouts over there might not be taking quite as much bonus damage, but they are still going to be very fragile if on very low HP. Another one going down for Vinch. Yes. Yes, sir. He can try to get another one, but I think he's going to end up sacrificing the archers. Well, there's a low HP one over here. Good job. So you should be able to take it. Yeah, well played. 4 villages down from Winchester so far. Some low HP villages over here still from the Viper, from Winchester, sorry, but the Viper's got only 2 archers, so won't be able to do much of anything. Meanwhile, Winchester is getting pushed out from the Viper space. Interestingly enough, the Winchester's economy is actually not looking that bad. He might be behind in gold count, but take a look at all the extra farmers he's got, all the extra food he's got. if he can keep up with this economy right now, he might be the first one going up to the Castle Age, and that's going to give him a little bit of a time window to try and go forward, do some good damage, and get back. Catch up to Viper's villager count at the very least. But yeah, the value was incredible over there for the Viper. Wow, I think, are these the same archers? Yeah. Yeah, these are the same archers. Same archers he already used to kill villagers with. Okay. There we go. Good job. We have the hill over here, but Viper's up against Skirmishers. Yeah. It's really interesting, right? Winchester with Skirmishers gonna be countering the Viper's units, but Viper with the extra damage from the hill can actually hold on really well over there. Did not end up getting cleaned up, as I think would probably have been the case with any other civilization. Okay. He gets another one. That's another villager going down. I think he had the hill advantage with one of the scouts. Now he's trying to go after another one as well. He's playing the patience game over here. And Winchester's economy is getting disrupted. Now Viper is actually going to be the first one to go up to the Castle Age. He's used the market to go up. Well, Winchester on the other hand... Yeah, I don't think so, right? Yeah, I'm not really sure if he's got a market even. Does he? He doesn't have a market, so he's gonna need to rely on actual resource income to go up. Well, Viper looking pretty good. I think if Viper ends up taking this game, there's a pretty real chance we're going to see Bohemians next game from Winchester, but we'll see. Yeah, and there's a lot of extra idle TC time for Winchester as well. Let's take a look at the gather economy so far. 1 extra hour for the Viper? What? Unbelievable! That is almost 20% stronger economy for the Viper so far. Huh. Bohemian no Aztecs? He could go for Aztecs. The thing is, Aztecs will be also the predictable choice. He does have still some stronger civilizations left, technically, right? Like he's got Britons, and he's got Ethiopians. But Bohemians over here are kind of like a wild card, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it. I don't think it's necessarily going to be the case no matter what, but I think it's not out of the question in any case. I mean, we saw this actually before, right? Aztecs being left as a leftover civilization. That was pretty interesting. For sure. And it was, I think, in the series between Winchester and Hera for the last game, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think that was it. Well, anyway, the Viper gets to the Castle Age, and what does he do? He goes for the second TC right away. It's pretty interesting to see how the players are figuring out the meta, even as we trail, you know, close to the end of the tournament. Like now we are getting a lot more consistent strats from players. Usually just trying to go out to the Castle Age ASAP, doing some damage in the Fuel Age, but trying to go out to the Castle Age, not delay it, and go for extra TCs. Has worked really well in the last few series. Good damage. Only one woodland over here for Winchester, man. It doesn't seem like he'll be able to collect too much from this one at all. There's a dungeon over here. He's getting to the Castle Age himself. Once he gets to the Castle Age, he's going to be going for a siege workshop. He's got to go for a siege workshop. Or is he going to go for elite skirmishes and just try to defend with units? No siege workshops. Well, it's understandable. He can probably go for a second TC elsewhere, man. If he can secure another woodland, that's going to be so much better for him. The problem, though, is map generation is not the best. Like, we have a huge hill over here. So he can go for a TC around that area to defend the gold, to defend the wood, right? There is another huge hill over here as well. He can go for a TC around here whatsoever. And then down south over here, over to the right-hand side. This is flat terrain, but he's actually already taken this, right? By going for military units, or buildings rather. So he would only be able to go for a TC maybe here, which is super exposed. And in front of a hill as well, so maybe a siege workshop around here could potentially do some good damage. So yeah. Viper on the other hand is getting the 30C already up. Not looking the best for Winchester, not gonna lie. Already with the Viper's much stronger economy, he's looking so much better. But then on top of that, there is the fact that he's got a much stronger civilization right now on a map like this with extra damage from the hills. And especially because of the way that the map has generated around Winchester's base with so many hills around, this can be so tough for the blue player to come back from. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, Viper gets pushed out. But he doesn't, like, he's not under pressure to do damage. He's already done plenty of damage. 7 villagers he's taken so far, and he's already ahead by 18 villagers. It's Winchester, the one who's gotta come back over here and, you know, going for extra TCs. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be the way to go about it. So instead, it's going to try to collect enough to go for a castle by the looks of it. Okay, I mean, that's fair. You know, with Sicilians, you do want to play for extra TCs because of the First Crusade upgrade. But if you're already going up on the back foot, trying to go for extra TC is just going to be so much more expensive on your already very weak economy. I feel like it would have been better for him to just try to go for like Knights maybe and Siege and just try to get the push going and try to YOLO this one out. And rely on the fact that, you know, it's very hard to counter them because of the bonus damage bonus. But instead he's going for the 30 TC right now, so... yeah, I think he's just gonna be playing catch up. I think Viper should be able to stay ahead. He's got already 22 extra villagers. Cavalry archers coming out from the Viper. That's pretty good. He's probably gonna be prioritizing villager production now. Once again, he needs to go for a few extra farms, right? And then he's going to prioritize villager production. So we're not going to see too many extra cavalry archers coming out, but he might still be able to get some good pressure going. We'll see. He's roaming around. Let's see about this. What is he going to do though? Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of open areas for him to raid around Winchester's base with the dungeon over here and the 3 TCs already up. I think Winchester's gonna be fine for the most part, but yeah, Viper's just gonna have to keep on playing for eco then. Now he can keep all 3 TCs working, so can Winchester, but yeah, still, 19 extra villagers for the Viper. He should be able to prevent Winchester from catching up. So far, eco upgrades better for the Viper as well, with heavy plow as well, which means the villagers are going to be carrying extra resources. On the farms, he's gonna be getting extra food over here. Winchester certainly wants to go for heavy plow as well, especially because of how much value he gets out of the farm upgrades, in any case. There you go. Tatars vs Sicilians. I'm pretty sure I'm somewhat of a snooze fest. It'll be a snooze fest till the end of the round. We'll see, we'll see. Mangle coming forward from the Viper. Yeah, and Viper should be able to go up to the Imperial Age faster, for sure. Still on 18 extra villagers. Wow, this is a pretty good position for the Viper. Notice how he's able right now to keep production. Oh, that was a great mounted shot. But yeah, I would say, notice how the Viper's able to keep triple TC villager production while he goes for triple archer range. Cavalry archer production, he was going for 3 cavalry archers at the same time over there. Well, we'll see. He's trying to go for a 4 castle, but it seems like he's gonna try to relocate the castle foundation to be even more aggressive than he originally intended. Not really, okay. There we go, counter castle coming up over there. Oh, but the castle, that was so close though. Oh boy, the castle's getting denied though for sure. He almost takes the foundation down, and yeah, this is a very good position for the Viper. A lot of cavalry archers. The Battles over here putting pressure up against Skirmishers for the most part in TCs. Well, with the Magnus and the Knights he should be able to take on the skirmishers just fine. So, seems like the TCs are going down over here in Winchester. Well, in the split of a second over there, or actually in a fraction of a minute, ends up getting completely overrun over here. And I think the Viper's pretty sure to take game number 6 over here. As Winchester is unable to keep on defending himself with the castle already out, that TC should be going down. And with the Manos over here as well, then he should be able to take the TC down. So Winchester does call the GG. Viper performed really well in game number 6, solidifying his lead and making this a 1-game series. If in the next game Viper wins, he ends up claiming the title of King of the Desert for the 4th edition of this tournament. While Winchester, on the other hand, well, his only way back into the series is winning 3 games back to back. Let's go and take a look at the achievements then. What do we get for military here? We're gonna have a better than 2 to 1 KD ratio for the Viper. It's actually going to be more like 11 to 5. For Army High, on the other hand, 42 to 30 as well for the Viper versus Winchester. And that's pretty interesting as well. I found it very curious how he went for the full pressure early on, as opposed to going for the Imperial Age first and just try to take the game from there. I guess he didn't want to give Winchester too much space to work with, but yeah. What else do we get? We're going to have a much stronger economy for the Viper, collecting above or close to 7,000 extra resources at the end of the game, with technology on the other hand. Looking better for the Viper, going out to the Castle Age faster. The Fuel Age was a little bit later, but he was able to do so much more damage in the Fuel Age even against Winchester, so that was pretty good. Society, on the other hand, 105 villages. Once again, how fitting, right? In favor of the Viper compared to 72 for Winchester. In the end, you can see Viper lost 1 villager this game, while Winchester, out of 84 villages he trained this match, went down to 57, right? So that's like, what, 27 villages I think he lost? So yeah, good job. Let's go back. It's going to be Britons versus Skimmer for Winchester and the Viper. This one we just managed to see. And Britons against Skimmer specifically, once again, they have played 2 times and they have won. So let's see. Welcome everyone then to game number 7. Let's actually the prediction. Oh, wait. Oh, Viper's going forward already. He wants to take this one right away, and I don't think... Wait a moment, Winchester knew about it. He had vision of the boar or the rhino, but he's not going for it. Wow. Let's take a look at the rhino over here while I enable predictions. Again. There we go. And let's start predictions up then for game number 7, right? The fact we are getting to 7 games over here is already pretty good, of course. I'm going to make this one only 2 minutes, guys, because we are already 3 minutes into the game, okay? You had 2 minutes to put some bones for whatever player you prefer. Wow, Viper's getting goats as well. So he's getting the rhino, he's getting goats too. I don't think he took his own rhinos yet, right? No, he's got both these still. Okay. Winchester knows about the rhino, is gonna try to go for it. Is he though? Is he though? I feel like he needs to go for it, man. He's not going for it. Wow. You don't game bows? What to do with these? Gamble them away. I mean, play the predictions game. Yeah. Winchester's not going for it. I don't know, man. I feel like this is wasting a chance of equalizing. Now he's gonna be on only 1 rhino. And I'm pretty sure he should know at this point that he's gonna lame. So that was a very strong start for the Viper. Let's go and talk about the civilizations real quick. For Winchester, when Britons is going to get 25% faster working shepherds. He's going to have also 50% food wood discount, on TC starting in the Castle Age. As well as 1 and 2 extra range and food archer units in the Castle and Imperial Ages, except for skirmisher units, of course. As for the team bonus, on the other hand, he gets 20% faster working archer ranges. Now, we have seen Britons, all the times that they have played against Khmer, win. But I don't remember an instance in which they got lamed. And so bad as well, especially with 25% faster working Shepards. Losing goats over here is also going to be quite tragic, while the Viper on the other hand is gonna be getting food for days, of course. He still hasn't taken the boar or the rhino from the back. Viper's civilization on the other hand, he's got... What does he have? With Khmer, he's going to have 10% faster moving battle elephant line units, as well as the ability to garrison 5 villages inside houses. He's going to have also the ability, actually his farmers are not going to need meals or TCs to drop food on, and he does not get affected by building requirements. As for the team bonus on the other hand, we also have for Khmer 1 extra range on Scorpionists. Now, that could be pretty good. Yesterday, we saw Khmer versus Britons again. I think it was in the set between the Viper and Jordan. And we saw Jordan go for Ballista Elephant. That was a pretty interesting thing to see, but I think there was a little bit of miss micro around Jordan's, you know, unit control over there. I think it could have been better. But yeah, I'm certainly hoping we are not going to see the same today from the Viper. Or if he goes for Ballista Elephant, it's fine, but if he needs to take better care than what Jordan did yesterday in any case. We'll see. There we go. Does Viper go Ballista Elephants to show Jordan how it's done? Well, the same matchup, right? I guess he could. We'll see. Let's take a look at the map generation, starting with Mr. Winchester over here. What do we get over here? We're gonna have the Mingle on the back, right? We have also secondary golds on the left-hand side up north. And then we have the main stone on the left-hand side. Where is the secondary stone? Secondary stone is actually up north over here, below Winchester's name on the scoreboard. It's gonna be pretty tricky. He's got 2 wool lines, both of them on the right-hand side. If he gets the walls from here to here, or actually even better, from here to here, behind the wool line, he should be able to secure this one, right? And then he can go for the walls like this, and probably from here towards the TC. Meanwhile, if we take a look at the map generation for Winchester on the other hand, we have, okay, the main goal forward for him, and then he's got the secondary golds on the left-hand side down south. Meanwhile, we have the main stone on the back and the secondary stone on the right-hand side. Both these wool lines are forward though, so it's not going to be possible for the Viper to defend the wool lines quite as well as Winchester could potentially defend these by going for walls. Like at most, he's gonna be able to go for a small arena himself, but yeah, not the best map generation for the Viper. Let's see if this is going to be enough for Winchester to potentially, you know, catch back up after getting lamed and get some damage done. We'll see. Hey, Oceaning, how are you doing? Hi. Welcome back. Hope everything's going alright. Khmer have 90% win rate versus Britons in this tournament? Really? In the entire tournament, maybe. No. That doesn't make any sense. Britons actually have a 100% win rate in the main event. Are you talking about qualifiers, maybe? Okay. Nice snipe over here from Winchester, getting a villager down from the Viper, already starting strong, first blood as well. It's going over the right hand side. Might be able to find some villagers over here. Well, Viper's got some houses, so you should be able to defend over here just fine, right? Just hop onto the into the house. Let's see. Yeah. Winchester's on 3 scouts over here. 3 scouts versus 4 scouts, 1 spearman for each player. So far, no upgrades for anybody, no bloodlines. Of course, Winchester kind of go for it, but no bloodlines for the Viper. He's got no scale bar than armor either. That was pretty good for Winchester, all things considered, you know? I'm kind of wondering if he's going to make a switch to archers right now as well to complement the scouts. That'd be so good, man. Scouts and archers. It's going to be kind of pricey, of course. Are you talking about Khmer versus Britons, like on all KOTDs? Because in the main event of KOTD4, Britons get a 100% win rate against Khmer. At 87.3% of the percentage are made up. That sounds legit. Yeah. If it's a percentage, if it's statistics, I'm going to buy it. And no matter the source. Okay. Interesting. He's relocating the archer range. Alright. I'm doing well. Abyss, yeah. Thank you so much for asking. Have you been keeping up with the tournament? It's been amazing. And Winchester's performance has been just remarkable. Even if he ends up losing this one, which is 100% possible, of course, against the Viper. This has just been an incredible performance for Winchester, and it's certainly going to catch attention for, you know, for the next few tournaments for sure. Hopefully he's going to be able to keep up with the standard that he's kind of setting for himself over here. Alright, yeah, it doesn't seem like anybody's gonna be able to do too much damage anymore. Winchester's getting the walls up over here. Well, he's still kind of open on the gold, I guess, but he's got the spearman, right? So he should be fine. And it's going to be a counter-strike. Now the Viper coming forward. And Winchester going forward himself. 7 scouts for Winch. About 8 scouts for the Viper over here. We do have Spearman though for Winchester. It's got 3 over here to work with, so that's pretty good already. But let's see, the Viper's going for it. The Spearmen are going the wrong direction. Now the scouts cannot do anything though. The Spearmen are there. Good job from Winchester. And now forward. He's got some scouts coming forward, but Viper already has quick walls around the golds. He's got Spearmen around the wood lines, and of course he's got plenty of houses over here to hop into with villagers if deemed necessary. Let's take a look at this though. 2 Spearmen going down over here. The Viper still has a good amount of units. He's got bloodlines right now as well, so these scouts are upgraded. He's taking on the Spearman as well. Did not lose a single scout so far, the Viper. He's going for it. He's going to just dive. I think he's not going to get about the TC, will he? He will, okay, but he gets a villager still. Good job. Scale bar and armors coming in for the Viper. As well for +1/+1 defense. Meanwhile, Winchester on the other hand would not be able to go for it himself at all, of course. And he's taking a lot of damage over here on the Spearman. He could not take a single scout down. I think these units from the Viper so far have gotten how many? He's gotten 6 kills. 2 eco units. And he's gotten 5. Now it's going up to 7 kills, right? But he's gotten 2 eco units and 5 spearmen so far, I think. And now with the hill advantage over here, he's going to be taking the scouts for sure from Winchester. Winchester needs to go back over here, though, because if he tries to get some damage done over here, he's probably not going to be able to. Because if he does not have the units grouped up, then the Viper can clean up the scouts. And then all of a sudden, Winchester does not have anything to defend the archers with. And now he's going to get surrounded. The Viper's going for it, guys! Winchester will lose the archers over here, but will he lose the scouts, though? It seems like it's going to be fairly even. However, in an incredible turn of events, the Viper is clicking up to the Castle Age. Absolutely crazy stuff. Good job. Good job. Winchester doesn't have the resources to go up. Extra stables over here coming out for the Viper as well, so that's quite clearly going to be for night production. He's got only 2 total, I think. Yeah. On the archer range coming out right now for Winchester, the second one, but this has been so good, man. You gotta give it to him. I think that's probably in no small part thanks to the Rhino. To the Rhino and to the 2 goats. That just impacted Winchester's economy so bad. So badly, anyway. Yeah, and Castle Age is gonna be on the way for Winchester very soon, but Viper's got an over 2-minute head start to the Castle Age already. Good defense as well. Meanwhile, taking a look at over here, the scout's still roaming around and still doing damage, man. It's just unbelievable. Another villager going down. So far, 4-1 KOTD in favor of the Viper. Really, really good stuff. And Winchester is only now going to click out to the Castle Age, but the Viper's gonna be there already. There we go. Let's Let's see if Winchester is gonna be able to keep up, because if he calls a GG right now, Viper wins the tournament. But it's certainly gotta be demoralized and seeing the Viper get so much faster. Especially after having done so little damage with your units. Feels like you're going up significantly later for no good reason, really. And now the Viper, well, of course, he's going for Knights. And that's going to be much harder for Winchester to defend against, especially as he's got almost no Spearman. He's got only one Spearman, and then he's going to be relying on Archers for the most part. When the Viper gets Chain Bar than armor, he already has Bloodlines. He should be able to take on Archers no problem, even Crossless, of course. And yeah, there's only like one Spearman over here, 2 Spearmen for Winchester, which will do not much of anything against Knights. And here come the units. Here comes the Viper. Winchester's trying to get the quick walls up over here, but this is going to be very expensive on his economy, of course. And you can see that even though he did not take any losses, his worker efficiency has gone down a little bit lower than Viper's even. Less than 70%. And that might be another villager going down. That is another villager going down. Winchester just cannot stop hemorrhaging economy. Still 30 seconds away from the Castle Age. And interestingly enough, Viper's population is actually lower compared to Winchester. It's just that Winchester's units, for the most part, the military units he's got right now, they're not quite as good. Viper's military units are so much higher value, and that's another villager going down. Castle Age is here, so we see Crossman coming up right away. We need to see Balkinaro coming in as well for Winchester. ASAP. Yeah, we have 6 Knights over here from the Viper. He does not have all of them forward. Yeah, and that's a lot of Spearmen coming in from Winchester, of course. That's looking a lot better. It's got 2 barracks to work with. Let's see. Another villager going down, and another one. More Knights coming in. Now Viper's adding Scorpions into the mix. He's got a forward siege workshop. Good job. Second TC on the way for Winchester. He's about to run into the light cavalry or the scout cavalry over here. He's got to be careful. Okay. I think Viper knew about the archers. He doesn't know about the foundation. Yeah, he doesn't know about the foundation. Yeah, that's pretty good then. If he can get away with the second TC, he might be able to hold on. For the time being though, Viper's score lead right now is pretty insane. And if you take a look at his economy as well, he's going for Wheelbarrow, right? He's about to finish researching Chain Bar then on, but he's not going for Knights, guys. He's not going for Knights, he's just going for a few Scorpions. Are we going to see the Viper try to fast simp over here? This is probably too good to be true. He's going for the second TC instead. Got spotted on the right hand side. There are only scout cavalry over here, but still good enough to get a few extra picks. So far that's going to be 10 villagers down for Winchester so far this game, and we have a 10 villager lead for the Viper respectively. Yeah. Viper does have Wheelbarrow though, so that's going to be more like a 13, 14 villager lead for the Viper in terms of economy, effective economy. Yeah, and more scouts over here. He gets cleaned up, but he's already done so much damage. Now the Knights over here will go after the crossbows. There are no Spearmen over here to be seen. The Spearmen are a little bit out of position, but yeah, the Knights are not going to get this run going, not underneath the TC. Very, very cautious push over here from the Viper. He's not taking any higher risks than he needs to, so he's just going to go back. Now with the third TC coming up, he should be able to start skyrocketing his villager lead against Winchester for sure. It's gone up to 14 extra villagers so far. Maybe 12 maybe. But yeah, with Wheelbarrow over here already, he's going for heavy plow as well. It's gonna be so much stronger. He should be able to get enough resources to even go up to the Imperial Age significantly faster compared to Winchester. And well, what can Winchester do? He's going forward. He's gotta put the pressure up, because if he's behind an economy, he needs to go forward and try to punish his opponent. So the game is not over just yet. The Viper's looking very strong, but Winchester's gonna try to come back. Battle Elephants! Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Scorpions over here are pretty good. The elephants are not going to be doing too much against the pikemen for sure. There we go. But we have a raid going on the right-hand side that Winchester was not able to react to on time. And that's 3 villages going down. Make that 4 villages going down. 5, 6. When is it going to ever end? The Viper's taking the TC with elephants. This is not something you're expected to see, but the Viper's pulling it off. Were you expected to see ballista elephants? Well, that's going to be the second best thing after that, probably. And, well, there is a monastery coming out for Winchester, but how do you come back from here? It seems like this is just going to go John and Winchester! He calls the GG as the Viper! Crowns himself champion of King of the Desert 4 to take the crown once again against Winchester in an incredible tournament in a very strong final series with Winchester really performing, you know, at a good level. Gotta be fair. Winchester did really well. He was able to take 2 games over here. Might not have won the whole thing, but damn, he gave Viper a run for his money multiple times. And good job still, though. Snake's gonna be taking this one, guys. Let's go and take a look at the achievements one final time for the tournament. We get a very close to 3-to-1 KD ratio for the Viper. Well, we have an army high of 36 to 16 for Winchester and the Viper. And for economy, a much stronger economy for the Viper as well, collecting close to 3,000 extra resources 30 minutes into the game. Faster uptimes as well, and overall an incredible game. Number 7 over here for the Viper. So congratulations to the Viper. We're going to go back